Wait a minute, Doc. Are you telling me that you built a time machine out of a DeLorean?
The way I see it, if you're gonna build a time machine into a car, why not do it with some style? Besides, the stainless steel construction made the flux dispersal. Look out!
Hello and welcome once again to the Cine-Files, where each week we enter the world of a great film. My headphones were falling off, and that's why I started laughing. And I think we explore its themes, its history, the filmmaking, and the influence it has on us today. My name, I believe, is Steve Morris, and I think I'm a filmmaker and a directing instructor in Los Angeles, California.
I am John Rocha. I'm definitely a voiceover artist, writer, producer, and host at Collider Video. And on the Top 10 show. And I'm looking forward to this one because this film lost me a belt when I was going for the title in a triple threat match. A question from this damn movie lost me the belt.
What was the question?
What brand of underwear does
Calvin Klein.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I forgot because I hadn't seen it in a while, and I totally forgot, and I said Fruit of the Loom. Because I just didn't know.
It'd be interesting if Mom calls him Fruit.
All right. How are you feeling, Fruit? Why do you keep calling me that?
Oh.
This is very homophobic, Mom.
Oh, wow.
So you might have noticed that there are two other voices with us, and we are welcoming back to the Cine-Files two of our all-time favorite guests, animation writer and producer Michael Vogel, animation writer and actor Shannon McClung. Welcome back to the Cine-Files.
Hey, thank you, Steve.
You are very welcome. And the movie we're talking about, we've already heard one trivia question from, is Back to the Future. That song, that music has been going through my head for the last 48 hours.
# same.
And not only is it one of our favorite movies, but it's also one of the favorite films of our patrons, with not one, not two, not three, not four, but 5 Cine-Files patrons have picked this. And those folks are James Kang, Jonathan Peck, Matt Correa, Patrick Giomo, and Sean Higgins. So let's hear why they picked the film.
Hey, John and Steve. Back to the Future is one of my favorite movies of all time because it was one of the first movies I ever saw that blended humor, science fiction, and fantasy and adventure all into one incredible 2-hour story. You had a crazy doctor you wanted to hang out with, a great family origin story in the McFlys, and come on, a time machine in the form of a DeLorean, and the cliffhanger that left me wanting more. And of course, John, remember, Calvin Klein's will always be better than Fruit of the Looms. Thanks again for your incredible podcast and look forward to hearing you break down this incredible film.
Hello, John and Steve. This is Jonathan Peck from Alexandria, Virginia. And thank you for choosing my pick for this episode of the Cine-Files is Back to the Future. It made me influence myself to make movies in the first place and make me want to become a filmmaker someday.
Hi, John and Steve. Sean from Minneapolis, Minnesota here. Excited to hear you guys talk about Back to the Future. Not only is this a childhood film of mine, one I probably watched easily about 50 times, but it's a film that has remained one of my all-time favorites into adulthood. This is due to the wonderful characters of Marty and Doc Brown, the incredible cast, the direction by Robert Zemeckis, and of course, the screenplay. This was one of the first films to teach me about basic screenwriting, about setup and payoff, and building tension. It also is one of the films to really influence my love of 80s films. It's a perfect blend of adventure, comedy, suspense, and of course, sci-fi. Great Scott, I can't wait to hear you guys talk about this masterpiece.
I'm so excited to talk about this. We've handled a lot of heavy movies lately. We've dealt with some heavy issues, and I'm so happy to go back to the future right now. This is one of my favorite films. John, do you remember how you first came to it?
Yeah, I'm saw it in theaters with my family, I'm sure. We all went together to see back when you could go with your family. Like, I was right at that edge where I was sliding out of, like, going to films with my family and being a teenager going with my friends. I was at that age. I remember this being one of the last few films that I went to see in the theater with my family and enjoyed thoroughly as a family and talked about it so much afterwards. But I will say this, I will admit this, it has never had the hook in me that it has had with other people, but I've always loved the film and appreciated the series. But it's never been like one that I go, oh, I got to put on it. Whenever I'm flipping channels, I got to watch it. It's never been one of those for me, even though I love the film thoroughly.
Right. Michael, do you remember how you first came to it?
I do. I am much younger than John Rocha.
Oh, boy.
So I
Wait,
was
that means you're
very
even much younger than me.
I am.
Oh,
But I was at that age where you were still going to the movies with your parents, and I think I was like, I mean, if it's 80, 85, I was 8 years old.
Sure.
yes, you were 8.
I was 8 years old.
He's doing math on his
You were
fingers.
7.
I literally had to count.
It came out in July. Your birthday's in December, so you were probably 7.
That's so sweet that you know my birthday.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so I was 7 years old. But so I was at that exact it was right there in the thick of those movies in the 80s that your parents took you to that like defined an entire generation of us. So it definitely got the hook in me. I remember seeing it in the movie theater, and it just blew me away. I was all about it.
Mr. McClung.
Yes, I'm even younger than Mike.
I mean,
And-
I like
Wait,
fun.
but that means you're younger than John. That means you're even younger than me.
I know, 77, 78, so months, but really a year on paper. Anywho,
Because I'm the youngest looking guy in the room. But go ahead.
okay,
Yeah,
pump
I'm
the
just saying.
brakes.
Just saying.
So yes, I actually went and saw it with my friend's family, with my friend Lloyd Haid. That was the first time I went and saw a movie with someone else's family.
Is this the same guy that made you watch Terminator?
Terminator? Yeah, same family.
At 6 years old?
Yes.
Wow.
We went and saw. So normally I was used to going with my mom and dad, and you guys have met my parents. I was raised in a very prim and proper household. My mom is sugary sweet. My dad doesn't say much. So we sit down in the movie theater, and Mr. Haight leans over and he goes, he's like, "No, I don't want to hear any talking. I'm serious. You guys better shut up. This is going to be a good movie." And I'm thinking, I've never had an adult speak to me like this. So I sat there petrified for the first hour of the movie.
Did you enjoy it?
Once I got past the petrification, word,
Like, sure.
okay.
Yeah.
So, as the oldest person here, this has been clearly established. It was the summer after my junior year in high school, and I went to see it with a bunch of friends, and then we went to see it again. I think I saw it 3 or 4 times in the theater, rented it over and over and over again. Watched it just a ton. Yeah. Talk a little bit about pre-production. It started when Bob Gale, who's Bob Zemeckis' partner, so we got the 2 Bobs, went back to a high school reunion, and as he was at his folks' house, he found his dad's old yearbook from high school and saw that his dad was senior class president. And he had no idea that his dad had been senior class president. He went, "Man, I wonder if I would be friends with my dad if we were in high school together." He goes back to Bob Zemeckis and just says this idea, and Zemeckis goes, "You know what would be really interesting? What if mom was saying all these prim and proper things, and then you go back to high school and see her, and she's nothing like that?" And that is the origin of the movie Back to the Future. And they go in and pitch it. And by the way, the reason it's set in 1955 is just mathematical, because that's the right age from 1985. But when they started, it's 1980, 1981. They pitch it at Columbia, they sell it in the room. And Columbia says, "Go write it." It takes 6 months to write because they have a process that is the way collaboration is supposed to work, which is that they argued a lot. And they didn't argue to win, and they didn't argue to get mad. They argued because both of them passionately wanted to make the best script that possible. And they kept saying, "Not good enough. That your idea is okay. It's not good enough. We have to make more." And one of the things they did, which I think a lot of different ways to write a screenplay, one of the ways that I don't do is writing everything down on an index card and putting it on a big board. This is an index card movie because every thought they have is they go, "Marty invents rock and roll. Put that on an index card, put it on the board. If Marty invents rock and roll, we must see him play rock and roll. Put that on an index card. Marty invents skateboarding. Put that on an index card. If he invents skateboarding, we must see him skateboard." And so this whole movie movie has more plans and payoffs than any other movie I can think of. There's so many little details, and you can see when you think about it, every single index card, we have to get that in before that. Well, if that happens, then we have to move this. And that was a lot of those 6 months of trying to write the screenplay. Write the screenplay in 6 months, 5 weeks rewrite. Columbia didn't want to make it. It goes into turnaround because what does Columbia want to make? They're like, well, it's a comedy. Comedy in the early 80s need to be raunchy.
Right.
Meatballs,
Porkies, Stripes.
Yeah.
This is something we talked about when we did Breakfast Club, is that he got all this pressure from 16 Candles and then later Breakfast Club to make it raunchy, so that no one wanted to do it. The only person who really liked it was Steven Spielberg. And Zemeckis and Gale had written, which I totally forgot, 1941.
Oh, a terrible movie.
And then Spielberg produced their first 2 movies, which is Used Cars and I Want to Hold Your Hand. all bombs.
But still, Used Cars is
I have no memory of it. I
really
think I saw
Kurt
it.
Russell. It is a what do they call it? Is an underground favorite. It's a guilty pleasure. A lot of people love Kurt Russell in Used Cars. Very funny film, in my opinion.
Well, and so they literally said no to Spielberg.
I want to say one last thing. I'm sorry, Steve.
Yeah.
I Want to Hold Your Hand is getting a Criterion release
Really?
later this year,
Fascinating.
which is about these people going to see their first Beatles concert ever and
wow.
what that must have been like. So how interesting, another film going back in time.
Interesting,
Yeah.
indeed. Well, 1941 is a period piece. So,
Right.
well, and so they literally go to Spielberg like, look, we're glad you like our movie. We don't want to make it with you because we don't want to look like we've done 3 things that weren't successful with you. We don't want to look like the only reason anyone lets us make movies is that you're our friend. And Spielberg goes, okay. And so they shop it around. No one wants it. Someone says, take it to Disney. They take it to Disney. Disney looks at them and like, this is a movie about incest. You want Disney to do it? So finally, after 3 years, they go back to Spielberg, and he says, yeah, I said I'd do it a while ago. And it becomes the first actual Amblin production at Universal that was not directed by Steven Spielberg.
Wow.
Everyone came in to audition for Marty, and the person that they wanted was Michael J. Fox, which I never knew. I didn't know they wanted him from the beginning. And they went to Gary David Goldberg, who's the producer of Family Ties, which is a hit TV show, and he says, nope, can't have him. So then they go off to their second choice, which is Eric Stoltz.
Yep.
And they went and started shooting with him. And they shot for 5 weeks with Eric Stoltz. And it was funny, they're looking at the footage and they go, man, Eric Stoltz is a great actor. This is a serious movie.
Yeah.
He just didn't have the comedy chops.
Did you hear the table read story? Like
No.
after their first table read?
No.
Allegedly, what had happened, I think Bob Gale said it in an interview, but after their first table read, some assistant had gone up to Eric Stoltz and was saying, hey, this movie's going to be really great. It's going to be really, really funny. And he goes, oh, I don't think this is going to be funny at all.
Oh,
This
really?
this is tragic. He's going to go back to a life that didn't exist. And that was his...
That was in his head.
That was his way in, yeah.
Well, Stoltz is not really known for comedies.
No.
So, I mean, it's like, even in Pulp Fiction, his comedy is like really dark. The sequence that occurs with him in Pulp is very dark comedy. So it makes it, and that footage exists. You can find it on YouTube. Watch Eric Stoltz as Marty McFly. It's a dark movie.
It's so this just points out the thing of like why casting is hard. You know what I mean? Like the idea, people think like, oh, well, they'll just, whoever the best actor is, we'll give it to the best actor. It's like, no, that's not what casting is. Right. Casting is finding the right actor. Eric Stoltz is a really good actor. And Zemeckis goes to Spielberg and he sits him down in the screening room and screens a bunch of stuff. And there's then silence in the theater. And Spielberg looks over at him, goes like, well, what do you want to do? And he goes, and Zemeckis goes, I think we need to replace Eric Stoltz. And Spielberg goes, I think so too. Huh. And then they have to go to Sid Sheinberg, who's the head of the studio, very, very powerful guy in Hollywood, and say, we want to essentially throw out 5 weeks of work and cast this guy, and we want to get Michael J. Fox. They go back to Gary David Goldberg, and he says, nope. And I get it. I mean, I get it. It's like he has a hit show on TV. Mm-hmm. Michael J. Fox is the breakout character of his hit show. He's not going to hand him over to a movie. And so they come up with a deal of he's going to shoot Family Ties during the day and at night go and shoot Back to the Future all night and Back to Family Ties in the day.
Jesus.
Lord. They had, and John, you will appreciate this story. Yeah. They had a station wagon with a mattress in the back. Huh. Who's that make you think of?
Orson Welles.
Orson Welles riding around in the ambulance to get between radio shows and plays.
Yep.
Crazy.
Back in the 40s.
I had no idea. I had for everything that I knew, man. I knew about Eric Stoltz. I know this other stuff. I had no idea about this at all. This is amazing.
10 to 5 shoot from Family Ties, then get to the set at maybe 7 or 8, and then shoot until 4 in the morning or 5 in the morning, and then back to Family Ties. Wait, what's the theme song from Family Ties?
What would we do, baby?
I'm just picturing Meredith Baxter and Michael J. Fox not speaking to each other.
Like on separate, you know.
And I don't know what the words are.
And there ain't no nothing we can't get each other through.
I liked my version. It was more internal. It was more internal.
The Muppet version.
By the way, I love that show. I watched it all the time.
That show was a great show. Way better than Growing Pains. You can kiss. That's the thing. It's either Red Vines or Twizzlers. It's either Family Ties or Growing Pains.
Family Ties is better than Growing Pains.
It's miles better than Growing Pains.
They don't connect.
I feel like I wish
this was a video. This is expression from Michael Vogel.
Okay, but Growing Pains has the better theme song.
What is the Growing Pains theme?
Show me that smile again.
Show me that smile.
Don't waste another minute on your crying.
All right,
By the way,
fair.
I barely watch Growing Pains because, as we've established, I'm a little older. But that's a better theme song.
Thank you.
Yeah.
But not as good as Perfect Strangers.
No, Perfect Strangers is the best theme.
That is the
That's
song.
the best theme song
For sure.
from the 80s,
Absolutely.
period.
Gentlemen.
Yeah.
Standing tall on the wings of my dreams,
Rise or
and
fall.
on the wings of my dreams. And then best part, through rain and thunder, wind and haze, I'm bound for better days.
My life is gonna stop me now.
The audio might have peaked a little bit
Oh,
in
that's
some of
fine.
that.
Sorry.
I just
Sorry,
didn't have
guys.
my hand on the.
Sorry, guys.
Silver
No, it's-
Spoons is number 2, maybe? I don't know.
If you've never played the theme to Perfect Strangers during New Year's Eve, when the fireworks are going off, it really syncs up.
Pro tip, my friends. Pro tip. Shall we jump into the film?
Yes, please.
So we enter into the sound of clocks.
Seems appropriate.
Originally, this movie was supposed to open in a classroom.
Oh.
And the reason it was supposed to open in a classroom is that the climax was supposed to be the explosion of a hydrogen bomb at a nuclear test facility, because only that would generate the 1.21 gigawatts to power the time machine. And so we had to establish in a history class that this nuclear test happened nearby this town.
That's fascinating. I always do love this whole thing. Like when you see something that's so perfect, the way that I feel like Back to the Future is, where you hear the earlier versions and you go, yeah, that tracks. Like that makes sense. Like it is a very like, we're going to open in the classroom because we need to get this information out really quickly and really clearly so that the audience knows this later. Like you were saying, like the whole note card thing.
Yeah.
And they do the same thing in the opening of this movie once we get into Hill Valley, but in a different way with what ultimately they figured out, which is way cooler.
Way cooler. And part of the reason they didn't do the nuclear test, because Spielberg loved the whole nuclear test, was money. It was just way too expensive. They wanted to do something to do in the back lot. And I couldn't confirm this, but it cost $3 million additional dollars to switch to Michael J. Fox on a $14 million budget. Wow. That was so $3 million in today's movie money standards doesn't sound like a lot of money. But if your total budget is 14, you have to go back to the studio for an extra 3. And I don't know if that's when they cut the nuclear test or not. I'm not sure. But they did cut it, and that's why we open up with these clocks. This is one of those things where people do not understand how hard movie making is. Try to get 20 clocks all to click in sync. They had like 20 guys, one on each clock, lining them up after every single take to get them to all be on the same time, because those pendulums are swinging in sync.
Yeah.
Like that is really, really hard as we go by these clocks and we see pictures of Edison, Einstein, and Ben Franklin, and we see a newspaper article saying that the Brown Mansion was destroyed. This is all really important setups for things. By the way, we also see that Judy Taylor did the casting, one of the great casting directors of all time. We hear about a Toyota sale. Everything that is in this movie is important. Like there's nothing really wasted as we go by.
I mean, in the opening like 10 minutes, and like I said, when we get into them in Hill Valley and him in school and everything, like I was thinking of this when I was rewatching it, that just like there's something amazing about, like, as a writer, I do not have economy of storytelling. I constantly overwrite everything and write way too long. And so watching something like this, you're just like, every single thing, whether it be a visual cue or just a mention here, it's all brought up, it's all set up for you, and it's all done in the quickest, shortest,
really fast,
most like it's like strategic way possible, and it's amazing.
We go back a coffee maker that pours water into a hot thing, but there's no pot. We go by a toaster that's burning. We're in kind of this Rube Goldberg-y sort of invention contraption. Then we go to this robotic arm that grabs a can of dog food, opens it up, and pours it really disgustingly into a bowl. Again, so they really did build a robotic arm and an automatic dog food can opener. And when they practiced it out, it worked perfectly. And then they didn't get the rights to the dog food that they had been using to put on camera. They got rights to other dog food for product placement, and when they did, it didn't work. The dog food stayed in the can. And so there is a dude just off screen with a blowtorch heating up the can of dog food right before the camera gets to it so that it's hot, so when it flips over, it pours out. Again, filmmaking is weird.
I want to meet this guy in a bar in Hollywood today. Like, I used to work in Hollywood. What did you do? Let me tell you, you seen Back to the Future? Yes. I made that dog food.
And then we see the door open, and we see feet, and they're putting like a key under the mat, and in comes some legs with a skateboard. Not Michael J. Fox. Because he's only working half days. Anything they could shoot that wasn't him, they did. So this is another guy, and we see him kind of kick the skateboard across the room, which stops by hitting the box of plutonium, which we have heard on a news report that I didn't mention, that some plutonium has been stolen, possibly by some Libyan terrorists. So as you say, there's a lot of info right in this shot. And then we go to him, this guy flipping some switches, turning some knobs. We hear the hum of a powerful something or other. We don't know what he's doing. We see these meters starting to peak. He's turning everything up, turning on the overdrive, and then we see him plug something in, and we're in a shot behind him, and we see the world's biggest speaker, and he strums his guitar, and what happens to him?
I mean, massive explosion. Massive explosion.
It's not
so great.
It's not a plutonium explosion, but it's an explosion.
Plutonium. Plutonium.
Do we think that the shot from behind, would that not have been Michael J. Fox?
It was not.
Wow. That's crazy.
I'm fairly certain it's not. The first shot of actual Michael J. Fox is when he drags himself out of the debris and says, "Rock and roll," as opposed to like, "I'm deaf," right? Which probably is more likely what would have happened.
That's what it's like when you're 15.
Yeah, everything's rock and roll.
Everything's rock and roll, son.
And then he gets
16, however lose.
He gets a phone call, and it is from Doc Brown, and we hear
Marty.
And then this might be the silliest little setup, is that the clocks all bong 8 o'clock. And after Doc has asked him to meet him at 1:30 in the morning at the Twin Pines Mall, he says, Marty says that they're all 8 o'clock. He says, "Oh, it's perfect. They're exactly 25 minutes late."
It's funny because like I actually took a good several minutes to go,
huh?
What did he actually... Like, did he put them all in the DeLorean? No, he doesn't have enough plutonium. Like, I literally spent more time than I should have trying to figure out what experiment he did with all of those clocks to get them all behind. And I was like, okay, I'll give it to you, Doc Brown. You're smarter than me. But like, I could, for the life of me, I was like, what could he have done?
I think that the two Bobs wanted Marty to be late for school, and they had to figure out how to do it.
Oh, fair.
And he is late for school, and we get our skateboarding montage.
Dun, dun,
And our
dun,
first
dun.
Huey Lewis song.
dun, dun.
Huey
Which
Lewis.
was a staple.
Huey Lewis,
piece.
the unsung hero of Back to the Future.
Absolutely.
Is a curious thing. Make a one man weep, make another man sing.
Which was a staple of the 80s. You had to have a great soundtrack. You had to.
Absolutely. And
this has a great soundtrack.
It does. Of original music.
yeah.
Original.
Power, love, curious thing.
Yeah, when you would have the music video that would have clips from the movie, or if you could even get the star.
You
to
could
be
get the star
in
in the
as
music
the
video.
character. Yeah.
That was a
That
big deal. And that music video was shot right near my house in a little club in Larkspur, I think, for Power of Love, because Huey Lewis is a Marin County guy from where I grew up.
Really?
I saw maybe my first ever star sighting is Huey Lewis in a bookstore when I was in high school. And that was, that was when he was Huey Lewis in the news. This is big time.
Huey Lewis in a bookstore sounds like a great improv game. Like, I need a person and a place. I will be doing Huey Lewis in a bookstore.
With an orangutan. And he goes off skateboarding through the town, holding on to the back of trucks. When this movie opened in Australia, Michael J. Fox had to do a public service announcement telling kids, don't hang on to the back of cars on skateboards.
Amazing.
Those are tough kids, those Australians. But this is also a very brilliant way to give you exposition about the town.
Exactly.
Just genius how they show you what everything is laid out, where he's going, what he's doing, and also give you a little hint into his character in that he's a bit of a rebel rouser. He's a bit of a rebel. He's a bit of a kind of, he's a normal kid who likes to break the rules just a little bit. Not a lot, just a little bit.
And as you were saying, John, we see the town is messed up. And part of the way they do this, just in terms of efficiency in filmmaking, is they shot the 50s first. It's much easier to mess up a set than it is to clean up a set.
Sure.
So they made the pristine, and this is all, of course, on the Universal Backlot, and you could see it on your Universal Backlot tour. Ask for Shannon.
I don't work on the tours. Steve.
I know.
He's above
man,
the tour.
come on.
He's above the tour.
So they made it perfect, pristine for the 50s, and then they messed it up. And you can see this is the era when the malls opened up and the downtowns got abandoned. And this is a rough town that he's going through. He arrives at school, runs into his girlfriend, Jennifer, which is Claudia Wells.
Well, runs into Jennifer before school.
Right.
And then you get the whole hill. Because like then important, because like, this is what you were talking about the classroom scene at the beginning is the old lady who comes up with the save the clock tower.
That's after school.
Is that after school?
Yeah. So he meets her, they go into
Damn.
school. So
Maybe don't try to drive every time. You know, same. Go ahead, Steve. As you were saying, Steve.
Maybe take that out.
Oh, yeah.
No, leave it in.
You know what?
Leave it in.
Yeah, leave it in. You know what? Leave it in.
I'll be leaving that in. So we run into Jennifer, who's played by Claudia Wells. Her story is really interesting.
Yeah.
She was cast first, and they wanted her to do it, and she had just booked a pilot, and they just heard the pilot wasn't going to go, and so she was going to shoot it, and she's going to do it with Eric Stoltz, and then the pilot went, and they got a 6 episode offer, so she had to pull out of the show. So they cast instead Melora Hardin to play the girlfriend.
Wow.
From The Office?
Yep.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
And she did the 5 weeks with Eric Stoltz, and then when they fire Eric Stoltz, she's taller. And so they went, this isn't going to look good with Michael J. Fox, who's 5'5". So they fired her as well. And by that time, the series had done its 6 episodes and did get canceled. And Claudia Wells was available, and she's not tall, and they brought her back.
God, I got to see that footage. I don't know if I've seen footage of her as Jennifer. Interesting.
Isn't that crazy?
It is crazy.
Yeah.
And that's sizest because short guys can be with tall women.
Okay.
All right.
Can they?
All right.
It's not in Hollywood, son. Not on screen. But what's interesting though too is her story because like she does get replaced.
Yeah.
Anyway, again
By Elizabeth
2 and 3
Shue.
by Elizabeth Shue.
One of my favorites.
Absolutely, for so many reasons. She has her own. She runs now in L.A. a suit shop. The
Really?
actress, yes, they did a piece on her like a year or two ago, and she talked about her experiences being in what happened, and she was like, she's still bummed she got replaced in the series, but she runs. She took her a while to kind of walk away from acting, and now she runs a very successful suit shop in L.A. You can go and get your suit measured at Jennifer's store.
There you go.
Wow.
They go into the school and immediately get accosted by Mr. Strickland,
Yeah,
James Tolkien.
he's the best.
I still just can't not think of him as the poor man's Robert Duvall.
Yeah,
Just always, he so has that exact same vocal rhythm.
he makes both Top Gun and Back to the Future. He's so important to both films. He really is.
And Masters of the Universe.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
He's in that as
Oh
well.
man, he is.
He plays Detective Lubbock.
That might be my favorite role of his now. That's out of those 3, that's the winner.
And he is horrible, horrible person.
You've got a real attitude problem, McFly. You're a slacker. You remind me of your father when he went here. He was a slacker, too. Can I go now, Mr. Strickland? I notice your band is on the roster for the dance auditions after school today. Why even bother, McFly? You don't have a chance. You're too much like your old man. No McFly ever amounted to anything in the history of Hill Valley. Yeah, well, history is going to change.
What is a slacker? Because is it fair to call George McFly a slacker? Like,
Yes.
really?
What did you see that he was doing that was upwardly mobile or was going to help him in his
Clearly did
career?
good in school if Biff was
Yeah, he's a
making him
good
do his
student.
homework.
Right, but he's a slacker in the way that, like, he's a nerd, and that's what that was kind of the correlation. A slacker was someone who's not gonna
Nerds
be
are not
anybody.
slackers.
Okay, and we're going to talk about the 50s or not? That's the 50s interpretation. Nerds were slackers, that kind of
I do
idea.
think that to him, Biff would have been a great student, and George
Yes.
McFly was a slacker.
Right.
Maybe.
That's
I
what
mean,
I'm saying.
a slacker is someone who doesn't work hard.
I'm not agreeing with his connotation. I'm trying to explain to you what he's coming from.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you clearly have rare insight into James Tolkien.
Well, I've read insight into the 50s.
No,
Method.
I this doesn't happen often, but I will agree with Rocha on this one.
Such a liar.
But no, I do think that in terms of like the way the whole movie is set up, like Biff is successful and George McFly is not.
For high school.
But I'm saying no, even like
Well,
when we
in
meet
the
them, but when we
present
meet them
day,
in the
Biff
present
is-
day,
right.
Biff is successful
Right.
by building his life and his career and everything on making George do everything.
Right.
And George McFly is not successful. So in terms of the way they probably were perceived in high school,
call.
Probably
that
true.
led all the way to adulthood,
Yeah.
Biff is, hey, this is the kind of guy you want to be. I'm glad you went to my high school. This Yutz, what a slacker. It makes sense.
You know what?
He never accomplished anything.
I'm totally swayed by this argument.
Yeah. That's what we're saying. He's a slacker.
Okay. Shall we go have our band audition?
Yes.
Oh, by the way, one last thing. This is how principals were in the 80s, kids. You guys got it lucky that you'd get your butts fondled by these principals now to make sure nothing happened.
Well,
Wait, did I say that wrong? Did that come out wrong? You guys are lucky. You guys are lucky that principals can't even touch you. In the old days,
Still
am I wrong on this? I feel like I'm trying to get my point.
Back in the old days, I got touched all the time by my principals.
His name was Michael Jackson. No, they used to spank us all the time and they used to do, principals used to come in and make you feel like dog shit all the time. And the parents were okay with it. Back then, it wasn't, principals nowadays, they can barely say 2 words, cross words to you without like a shit ton of evidence and video.
When did you just become an angry old man?
When? Are you kidding? It's been about 10 years.
Oh, in my day, principals fondled my butt and kicked me out on the street.
Because they didn't want me to be a slacker.
So the audition, Huey Lewis is in it.
Yes.
Everyone.
This was like the big, like if you could, like as Shannon was saying, in the 80s, if you could get one of the stars in your music video,
yes,
and you could get a part in the movie, that's like you're winning big time.
And he was nervous about this. Did you know this?
Huey Lewis? No,
yeah,
no.
he was nervous about it because he was just like, you're playing me as this nerd. I'm the cool rock guy. Like this could ruin my image.
Of Huey Lewis?
Yes. We're talking 85 right now, man.
They were a fucking bar band. What are you talking about? Oh, I love it. So this is not friggin' Motley Crue. It's Huey Lewis.
You don't tell Huey that.
Yeah, sure. I want a new drug.
By the way,
a slacker.
Did you listen to the Mark Maron a long time ago did an interview with Huey Lewis?
Yes. It's a great episode.
His life is totally fascinating.
Yeah, Huey is awesome.
He was an interesting guy who had no idea about all this stuff. Michael J. Fox did know how to play guitar. He had been in bands. He also skateboarded a lot as a kid. And the other guy on the stage with him is his guitar coach, who was helping him during the movie to play well. And Huey Lewis stands up with his bullhorn and says,
Hold it, fellas. I'm afraid you're just too darn loud.
and now we're in the thing that you were talking about, where we're in the town square and we see the woman.
Got to it.
We see the woman raising money to save the clock tower. And she's got her can that she's banging around, and we also see re-elect Goldie Wilson.
Yep.
Another little plant that we have to have.
So good.
And this is where he goes through the thing that you were talking about of he's never going to play in front of someone. What if he gets rejected? He's got a tape. And then there's this moment where he says,
All right, okay, Jennifer, what if I send in the tape and they don't like it? I mean, what if they say I'm no good? What if they say, get out of here, kid, you got no future? I mean, I just don't think I can take that kind of rejection. Jesus, I'm starting to sound like my old man.
And I just love the way they set up like this whole like, I would like to play guitar on stage at school. I don't think I'm good enough. What if I'm never good enough? Which directly comes from his pants. And like, I'm just like my dad. Like those things all just hit boom, 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 boom. And you're just like, all right, we are set up. And like when you know the movie and you're watching it, you're like, yep, like if you just set up all the pins and we're just gonna knock them all down. Like it's good to go.
What do you? Oh, sorry. What were you gonna say?
well, I was just going to say that the thing about writing is that exposition is the hardest job, I think, in writing. It's like, I got to get this stuff out. And to get it out in a way that is entertaining and that it's not sloggy, where the audience doesn't feel like it's being told what's going on, is so hard. And they do so much in this movie. And what they said about it was that this writing was not fun. This was heavy lifting, start to finish, super, super hard. And so people who have this image of, oh, it must be fun to write a fun movie. No, this is hard work.
And this is also where they established the truck and the idea that Marty's mom is super strict.
Yep.
I think she was born a nun.
Yep.
Right.
And again, like we were saying, like it's every single line is necessary.
Mm-hmm.
Like when you break that down and you watch the scene, like the woman comes up and says, literally, she's like, save the clock tower. We want to keep it exactly where it was when it was destroyed by lightning on this night specifically at this exact time. And here's a flyer and you're like,
right.
Yep, need that. And you're like, yeah, my mom was practically a nun growing up. Oh, I hope I'm not going to be like my dad.
And
like,
then she writes her phone number and I love you on the back of the flyer.
Right.
So that becomes a dual purpose prop that's going to give us all sorts of stuff for later on in the film.
And Marty kisses Jennifer in front of her dad, which when I was in high school, I would not do that.
Well, why did she give him? Didn't he not have her number before?
No, she was going to her grandma's house.
That's
and
right.
she was writing her grandma's number.
Well, and another thing that I find interesting, I think this is the right time to talk about it, is like, and like when you're writing a movie and you have your main character, like most movies, the way they work is here's a character's flaw.
Here's their flaw.
And here's what they need to learn to overcome, to work through, to make everything better. Like, so like, how do you get to the point at the end of the movie where the character's life is better? And most movies, that is, they learn a thing and they make a different decision than they would have made, and that's how they get there. But Marty, he does have things like he's not super confident. Like he says to Jennifer, like, I'm not going to send this tape in. What if they don't like my music? He then goes, like, he's told his music's too light. There's little things, but most of this movie is about Marty going and like his life ends up better because of everything he changes around him. It's George who actually had like the character arc, which I find really interesting because this movie is, I agree with you, Steve, that like it's one of the most perfect movies. But that's one thing that I was watching. I'm like, it's very interesting the way they set up all the right stuff for Marty to have the arc, but in a different way than you usually would attack it.
Yeah, I mean, you get the sense that he learned lessons by watching his parents go through these things.
That is,
but we don't see him do anything with his new lessons. He doesn't make different choices later on.
Right.
I totally agree. Well, I think it's so my definition of story versus plot comes from Stephen King. I think I've talked about on the show before, which is just plot is the external conflicts and the mechanism of how all that stuff works, and story is the internal conflicts and the development of characters over time. This is a plot movie.
Yeah.
This is where it's all about the mechanism of all the little things that have to happen. And yeah, he has a character arc, but not that much.
No, it's George McFly who has the character arc.
He has a character
and Marty is sort of the
conduit.
The conduit. I mean, in a way, to use it because I'm a Disney nerd and I was here. We actually talked about this movie on Cine-Files, but it's the difference of like Aladdin or Belle in Beauty and the Beast. Like Belle doesn't really have a character arc. It's the Beast's movie. She is the thing. She is the thing that she's the main character that gets you there. But the Beast changes. Whereas in Aladdin, he's the one who needs to learn the lesson. And this is more that, which I think is really interesting for the fact that this movie is like just taught to everybody. It's like, this is a perfect movie.
So Michael J. Fox arrives home. The first thing he sees is his wrecked car getting towed.
Oh, come on, man.
And then he goes inside and we get to meet Biff.
I can't believe you loaned me your car without telling me it had a blind spot. I could have been killed.
Now, Biff, I never noticed that the car had any blind spot before when I would drive it. Hi, son.
One of the all-time great bully villains of cinema. Like, I mean, just like represents everything that is a bully.
Apparently Tom Wilson is a very nice guy.
Yeah,
he is. I worked with him for a small part. He did Spectacular Spider-Man. He did a voice. I was super excited. I was like, one of my first animated shows, and I got to meet Biff, and he was lovely.
But his assholeness is amazing.
Yeah,
he does. I think he does stand-up comedy.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he does like song stand-up comedy where he has a song about making Back to the Future.
Really?
And he talks about, like, people ask him, has he met Michael J. Fox? He's like, yeah, nice guy. And they ask him if he met Crispin Glover. He's like, never talked to him. It's really, like, if you YouTube Thomas F. Wilson Back to the Future song, it'll pop up. It's really
I will try to put it on the Facebook page.
Oh yeah.
And he's angry because George didn't tell him that his car had a blind spot.
It's just all everyone else's fault but his.
It's horrible.
I spilt beer all over me when that
who's
truck
gonna
smashed into me.
Who's gonna pay for this suit?
That's a good joke, by the way, because it's got levels. Of course, he also needs to get the reports written for him, and when George is hesitating, we get our "Hello, McFly."
Oh God.
Well, I haven't finished those up yet, but I figured since they weren't due till...
Hello? Hello? Anybody home?
Oh.
Think, McFly. Think. I gotta have time to get them retyped. Do you realize what would happen if I handed my reports in your handwriting? I'll get fired.
Which my son, because I watched it with Jax, he said, "Is that where that's from?" And I'm like, "Yes."
Oh, that's funny.
You are seeing the origin of this.
And growing up in the 80s, having a Mick last name, I got my fair share of head nods. Hello, McClung, hello.
Oh my God.
Also because you're so short.
Okay.
It's easy to wrap you on the head.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'd have
dog
killed
pile.
somebody. Yeah.
And this exact scene is going to get repeated later on, including I had to rewrite the reports. I can't turn it in your handwriting, and I sleep in on Saturdays. And
that's sort of something that's like really indicative of the Back to the Future series as a whole. Is they got 3 movies of mileage out of repeating scenes almost specifically.
Yeah.
But like in a good way. Like it works really well. And like this is one of those first moments where like we're gonna see this, we're gonna see it again in a little bit.
Yeah. It doesn't work for me in the sequels so much.
The sequels are a different thing, and we could talk about them another day. Let's just focus on our love for this first movie right now.
Thank you for keeping us on track.
Well, once again, what they do here story-wise also is he is the hero in every situation he's walking into, right? Everybody else is terrible to Marty, and that's how you make your lead a hero constantly throughout the movie, the protagonist rather, kind of a hero character to follow, because everyone else that comes in contact with him is so rude to him or mean to him or whatever. And like you said, Michael, you establish him as soon as he plays the guitar and rides a skateboard and all kinds of stuff. He's a cool kid, right?
Right.
But so you have to have everyone else come in contact with him be an absolute jerk, so it only reinforces that. The first scene of Biff is him being an absolute jerk, right? The first scene of Principal is him being an absolute jerk.
Oh, yeah.
And the first scene with the parents, them being absolutely, except for, of course, Lea Thompson, is being like just super weird to him or nerdy to him. So he is elevated by the fact that everyone else around him is not good to him or is not doesn't hear him or understand.
Well, and Lea Thompson confirms what Marty said about her earlier, because we talk about Jennifer calling. It's like, I don't think girls should call people.
Girls
I
should
never
call
did
boys
things like that.
Right, exactly.
And one of the moments that happens with Biff and Crispin Glover is you see him making a fist or like doing this thing with his hand, which is sort of the exact same gesture he does. And it's so, watching it multiple times, you go like, oh, he is thinking about hitting Biff. He has probably been thinking about hitting Biff for
30 years.
30 years. And he apologizes to his son.
I know what you're gonna say, son. And you're right. You're right. But, Biff just happens to be my supervisor, and I'm afraid I'm just not very good at confrontations.
That's a thing.
It's so sad, and you're just like that is you get that moment of just like, this guy's so pitiful, and he just has no backbone even to his own kid. Like he just backs down from everybody. Oh, poor George McFly.
So here's the thing that's also interesting to me. It's ironic that Marty is essentially the black sheep of the family, but in a way that's reverse. Because Marty's the cool kid in the family, right? The brother's in jail. The sister's not.
No, the uncle. The
uncle's in jail, but the brother and the sister are super nerds.
Yeah, the brother works for fast food.
Yeah, fast food.
And the sister can't get a date.
Yeah, exactly. Same thing. Like you get home, and it's literally the family version of this scene in Town Square where you just get brother does fast food, sister can't get a date.
Right.
Uncle's in jail, didn't make parole.
But she's wearing the mom jeans or the mom look. Lea Thompson is. Dad's a super nerd.
And having a healthy pour of vodka.
Yeah. Right.
She drinks, so she's just like,
they're all,
hey guys, he didn't get out of jail.
Yeah, they're all, in essence, kind of pseudo on the way path to being losers or losers already.
No, I think
there's no path to being losers.
Yeah. Well,
his family are losers.
But fair enough. But somehow he's the cool kid who knows how to wear the right jeans, the right shirt, the right look, the right fashion, all that jazz. So in a way, to me, it's like a reverse black sheep of the family. He's actually
it's also like reverse, like most movies.
That rarely happens.
When you're setting up like let's just do the cliche movie today. It's like everyone in my family is cooler than me. Right. I'm the one who doesn't fit in. I feel like an outsider. And you're right. This is literally the reverse of he's like. He doesn't actually say he's embarrassed by his family.
It's there.
But he's embarrassed by his
family. It's very clear. Well, and I would say that he is not currently a loser, but there is a little loser inside him, the person that's afraid of rejection.
Exactly.
His fear is that he is going to be one of them.
Yeah.
It's that, and it's circumstantial. It's like everything that's set up is you set him up at the beginning of like, okay, this guy seems cool. Okay, like Principal thinks he's a slacker, but he's a cool guy. He plays guitar. He skateboards. So in the 80s, that's like you're automatically a cool kid.
Yeah.
Has a pretty girlfriend.
Like there's no like you're like what's
hangs out with a strange old man.
Hangs out with like those principals John used to hang out with.
Oh boy. Let me tell you. Buddy, come here, sit on my hand.
And then you get home. And you go, Mom doesn't want me hanging out with my girlfriend alone. Dad is a loser, and the car is wrecked. Right. So this has now ruined this thing.
Right.
And then George McFly basically says to him, and this is the other thing I think it's more important than I thought it was when I first saw it younger, but like you get older, you watch it. Dad and his brother are both saying to him, you don't need the stress and pressure of being up on stage anyways.
Right.
And that's actually really important. That is a moment where what he is learning from his dad, and this is where you're going down the road where you're probably going to be a loser, is the lesson you're learning from home is don't try, because the stress and pressure, if you don't make it, and if you do make it, it's going to be so much work. Like, they're setting him up to go down a path to become just like them.
They're teaching him the fear of failure rather than
Yes.
the joy of success. Yeah.
There's so many things that happen in this scene, and one thing I want to point out is, and this is more of a filmmaking thing, is that there's a very basic process the way you shoot a scene. And the basic process is you shoot a master first, which means the big shot that has everything in it, and then you go in and do over the shoulders or close-ups or inserts as you go. And the reason you do it this way is that, first of all, it allows the crew to see the whole scene. Because if you just start with a close-up, well, you might never know what that other person is doing. It might not get locked in properly. It also gives you a chance to light the whole scene properly, so you have exactly how everything's going to look. So when you go in, maybe the next day or something on someone's close-up, you can light it to match the master. It's also more efficient in terms of time because time is so important on the set. When they shot this film, they didn't do it that way because Michael J. Fox was on Family Ties. And so what happened was they went and shot all of the close-ups, the coverage of the characters with a stand-in, being Michael J. Fox. And then Michael J. Fox would roll onto the set at 9 o'clock at night, and they would then shoot the master and his coverage. And then he would leave, and they would do anything else without him. That's just a crazy difficult way to make a film. Yeah. And so all the scenes where you see Crispin Glover, you see Lea, they're always acting not with Mike Fox.
Oh, wow.
Isn't that crazy?
That is crazy.
I can't tell you how hard that is. And it also shows why Zemeckis has the kind of a brain that can do Back to the Future 2, where you have all these multiple, where you have to keep so much in your head, or to do Forrest Gump or things like that, where there's so much complexity and the way you shot it. That means the director has to be able to visualize the movie, and it's not really being in front of him. One more thing again, we're just planting everything, because the other thing we plant is the way that mom and dad met, which is Grandpa hit Dad with a car.
Yep. If Grandpa hadn't hit him, then none of you would have been born.
Yeah, well, still don't understand what Dad was doing in the middle of the street.
What was it, George? Bird watching?
What, Lorraine? What?
And even the little, what were you doing in the middle of the street,
Dad? Bird watching? What, Lorraine? What?
Yeah, and this is fascinating. Crispin is so, and we should take a moment.
We definitely have to take several moments for Crispin Glover.
Is one of the most unusual performances in a film ever. Should not have any business working in a film like this, yet somehow it absolutely does, because he is so far out there, yet he's not so far out there to lose the continuity or the realism that you're trying to establish in the movie.
When he's watching
Honeymooners,
which again is a plant.
Is another plant.
But like there it is.
The Rick Messina laugh.
Oh, Rick.
Oh, Rick. McClung, you mentioned me, McClung. It is. It's so weird.
It is. He's weird. I mean,
he said
really
it was.
clear.
He said this is. He said it on Letterman or whatever these interviews he did. Not the one he kicked at Letterman, but some other interview. I think most recently they interviewed him about it. And he said to me, this was a drama.
Right.
I played it as a drama the whole time.
This is why he's not a sane person.
Right.
I mean,
he said he didn't see the comedy in this at all. To him, he played a certain way. The Eric Stoltz, this is how they directed him. So he's like, this is the way I'm playing it. This is what you want. This is how I'm playing it.
Well, if he thought he was playing it for a drama, I mean, it's so...
It's so crazy, but I mean, if you really do think about it, like you think through his performance and everything he does, like I think what works for the movie is he's dead serious for the whole thing. I mean,
sure. Well, that's the way to play comedy.
Yeah.
But his character is insane.
Right.
I mean,
especially
physicality,
like loser George McFly. Like,
it is just so crazy. And Lea Thompson, her performance is fantastic as old mom, and I love the moment too, because we go on after we describe about the getting hit by the car and brought up to a room, and he looked like a lost puppy, and then they go to what the daughter calls the fish under the sea or something.
Yeah.
It's like, no, it's the enchanted under the sea dance, and she describes like them having their first kiss, and then she looks at him and she says,
And it was then that I realized that I was going to spend the rest of my life with him.
and that look from her while he is laughing at the honeymooners and she has her big glass of vodka, is so sad.
It is. And I wonder how many moms at this time who watched this movie felt the same way about their husbands. Like, They didn't turn out the way I thought.
Strangely,
but it sure was a beautiful.
Karen was drinking a big glass of vodka when we were watching this film.
Wait a minute.
She did look over at me. Huh.
There's so much about
Hold
this
on,
film
guys.
that isn't just. Oh no,
it just got real.
There's so much about this one that isn't just for teenagers, right? There's something here to explore. And you're right. Lea Thompson's performance, considering she is either the same age or younger than Michael J. Fox, I don't, or not
They're
that much
young,
older,
yeah.
is incredible. Her old Lea Thompson
in both roles,
or middle-aged Lea Thompson, yeah, in both roles.
It's the middle of the night. Marty gets a call from Doc, and did you fall asleep? And the answer, yes, he did fall asleep. And he grabs his video camera and he heads off to the mall.
The Twin Pines Mall.
The Twin Pines Mall. He sees Einstein at the truck. Einstein is the dog. And there's a big noise and there's smoke as the back of the truck opens up. And this is an entrance.
Yep.
The entrance of the DeLorean. This is perfectly, beautifully shot. As it comes out just billowing with smoke. And the music stings as it backs out. The camera moves along the car and that gold wing door opens up. And before we get to Doc Brown, I want to tell you another little thing. Originally, the time machine was not built into a DeLorean. The time machine was built into a refrigerator.
Oh.
Yes.
Huh.
And Steven Spielberg thought that was great. And they just kept
I'll
going.
use it again in Crystal Skull.
I was just
That's
gonna
what I'm
say.
saying. The two
Oh
elements
my
that didn't
God.
stay. And what was that conclusion of this film? A nuclear explosion.
Oh, Steven.
The gun.
Steven.
Some things get cut for a reason.
Yeah. But Zemeckis and Bob Gale were not satisfied with the refrigerator. They said, you know what, we want it to be portable. And then they actually were trying to find a car that looked the most like a rocket ship, and naturally a DeLorean.
Interesting.
And it's so funny because today, I don't think the level of the DeLorean jokes actually works for it. No one knows that stuff anymore.
The John DeLorean story.
But in the 80s, this is a big deal.
He was caught for, he was caught on tape, cocaine
Dealing, and the company collapsed.
Yeah,
Well, and also, I think Back to the Future single-handedly just made DeLoreans cool. Like, if I ever see a DeLorean, I'm like, 88 miles per hour. Oh! Like,
so the gull wing door of that DeLorean opens, and out comes Doc Brown.
Yeah.
The best.
So great. You want to know who was originally cast?
Who?
It's actually really good and would have worked. John Lithgow.
Ooh, interesting.
Not as good as Christopher Lloyd, I don't think, for this role, because Christopher Lloyd is Doc Brown.
He is.
I mean, that's the hard thing is like I can definitely see a John Lithgow Doc Brown.
Yeah.
But like, and that would be great. But like this is like, you know, I mean, Christopher Lloyd, this is the most iconic thing. Like Doc Brown is the 80s.
Yeah.
I kind of want to slip into that universe where Doc Brown is John Lithgow, Eric Stoltz is Martin McFly, and Melora Hardin is Jennifer.
Was he a casualty of the Eric Stoltz?
No,
filming?
he had to drop out right at the a month before. He never shot.
There's a universe where I would like to see that movie.
I mean, John Lithgow's a fine actor.
He is. Certainly, you could say that Third Rock from the Sun portrayal is essentially a version of Doc Brown.
Sure.
Yeah.
You could say that.
You could say that, but I will also say that nothing is Christopher Lloyd.
True.
What he does is so insane. Apparently, he would never go full on in rehearsal, so they never knew what he was going to do.
That's
so he
brilliant.
would kind of halfway do it, and then when they would shoot, he would do some crazy stuff. And what they finally started doing was they went, we're just going to shoot all the rehearsals because we can't, because they would blow the take anyway, because you have to measure to get focus distance, and cameramen have to know what you're going to do, and the dolly grip and all those people, they didn't know. So they just like, we're just going to shoot all the rehearsals and force him to go 100%. And once he locked it in, he was very consistent. But man, his performance is wild.
Welcome to my latest experiment. This is a big one, the one I've been waiting for all my life.
And we're going to videotape this experiment, and we show him. And so Marty, who has a video camera, starts rolling, and he introduces himself, and this is a temporal experiment, and he puts Einstein in the DeLorean, and he straps it in, and then he notes that you have two like stopwatches that they're in sync, and he pulls out a big remote which controls the car, which is awesome, and he sends that car way, backs it way up.
My calculations are correct. When this baby hits 88 miles per hour, you're gonna see some serious shit.
And every little kid in the 80s, he said
shit.
And then in the edited for TV version, you're gonna see some serious stuff.
I don't know. What is the purpose of having him spin the wheels for like 30 seconds before the car actually goes?
Also, let's talk basic science safety. I get it.
Oh boy.
You're going to hit 88 miles per hour, it's going to disappear. Maybe just don't have it drive right
Don't
at you.
stand
though.
right.
Like, you know, I get it. It's cool. And also then, I love 80s special effects. Like when I was a kid, I was like, this looks so real. And I'm like, you're standing in fire. And I don't know. Like, why is your foot not on fire right now?
Well, there's the moment, too, where Marty starts to step out of the way of the oncoming car, and Doc gives him a look, and he steps back in. I'm like, no, there's literally a car coming towards me.
I can actually videotape this from over here. dude.
Over here.
I'm good.
We'll get the same effect.
But the car does disappear. And Doc is celebrating, and of course, Marty at first thinks that he disintegrated Einstein, which he didn't.
Jesus Christ, Doc, you disintegrated Einstein.
Calm down, Marty. I didn't disintegrate anything. The molecular structure of both Einstein and the car are completely intact.
Where the hell are they?
The appropriate question is, when the hell are they? You see, Einstein has just become the world's first time traveler. I sent him into the future.
And then we have, of course, Marty's amazing line, which is,
Wait a minute, Doc. Are you telling me that you built a time machine out of a DeLorean?
The way I see it, if you're gonna build a time machine into a car, why not do it with some style? Besides, the stainless steel construction made the flux dispersal.
and then all of a sudden he realizes it's a minute and pushes Marty out of the way, and the DeLorean reappears, now strangely covered in ice.
Look out!
So where did he go?
What do you mean?
Where did the dog go?
It went a minute forward in time.
He went a minute forward in time there. He wasn't gone for a minute. He just jumped time.
Why is it covered in ice?
I think the re-entry?
Apparently some effective time travel.
Because I mean, you've got all the science facts at your fingertips.
When you say
someone
goes a minute into the future, like he didn't go somewhere else for a minute. He literally went a minute into
I believe
the future.
Doc Brown says it's not where the hell did he go, it's when the hell did he go.
As far as Einstein is concerned, the trip was instantaneous.
Yeah.
Right.
That's why his watch is exactly 1 minute behind mine.
Yes.
Right.
It's all right there in the dialogue, John.
It is. But the ice isn't. Anyway, go ahead. Yeah.
And then he opens up the DeLorean and shows him here's a whole bunch of exposition. Here's the flux capacitor. Here's the time we're going to. Here's the time we came from. Says you could go back to 1776. I love the joke of you could go see the birth of Christ on December 25th, year 0.
Yep. But then they do really seamlessly just give you the information you need, which is, and here was a great day for science.
11/5,
which is what gets it, which is
1955.
why that's put in there. But it's like it gives you exactly the right information. This was the day. I discovered this.
I was standing on the toilet.
Here,
it says exactly what happened. Christopher Lloyd is so great. And his little, he's very excited, and then a wistful look comes over his face as he's describing this.
Things have certainly changed around here. I remember when this was all farmland as far as the eye could see. Old man Peabody owned all of this. He had this crazy idea about breeding pine trees.
Well, and like you were saying, exposition is always really hard. And when you have an actor like Christopher Lloyd, you can basically be like, this happens a lot where you're like, give this character all the exposition because it'll be fine.
Right.
I mean, that happens a lot where you're just like, let's just do this. And with Christopher Lloyd, it's like, he literally just talks for a few minutes about time travel and gives you all the information you need about the DeLorean, how it works. And you're just like, yeah,
Okay.
I'm thoroughly entertained by all this. I'm not bored at all.
Well,
He
and
can
not
keep
just that,
talking.
he also goes, 30 years ago, this used to be all farmland, and there was this guy who wanted to breed pine trees.
Right.
You know, all of this is all necessary information.
It's all there.
It's crazy.
This is heavy duty, Doc. This is great. Does it run on regular unleaded gasoline?
Unfortunately, no. It requires something with a little more kick. Plutonium.
Plutonium. Wait a minute. Are you telling me that this sucker is nuclear?
Hey, keep rolling there. No. This sucker's electrical. But I need a nuclear reaction to generate the 1.21 gigawatts of electricity I need.
So you actually pronounce the word gigawatts.
Not anymore, you don't.
Apparently, Zemeckis and Gale interviewed a scientist who pronounced it gigawatts, and they wrote it in a script with the J.
Oh, that's so funny.
And they always pronounce it that way until later on, everyone's like, it's giga. Giga is, like gigabits.
Yeah.
Giga is the actual word.
Giggity.
I bet that scientist was like, as soon as he said it and didn't want to correct himself,
Maybe.
he's just like, I'm just gonna keep saying gigawatts.
Yeah. And what?
I don't want to get.
And now with more exposition, we find that he ripped off the Libyans of their plutonium.
Yeah, which terrible idea.
It's horrible.
Built them a fake bomb. Like this, you don't think
not
this is
gonna
going to
work.
come back to get you, dude?
Look, Doc Brown knows things about the future, but he doesn't plan well. I mean, he makes some.
I sort of argue Doc Brown is.
He
the
spent a lot
coolest-
more time getting all those clocks to be a half hour ahead than thinking through this plutonium plan.
This is the coolest version of Doc Brown is in this movie. The second and third, not so,
Well,
not
even
as cool or fun.
My favorite thing about this, one of my favorite things about the entire series is he literally says in this scene that he would go to the, he would love to see how all of these games turn out so he can like play some bets.
Yeah.
He doesn't say that. He says I could find out how 25 years of World Series comes out.
Yeah.
He doesn't
Why
say
would you
anything
want-
about placing
Okay,
bets.
he doesn't place bets, but why?
But that's the
When
groundwork
you
is laid.
say I would like to see how 25 years of World Series games turn out, like
Right, sure.
there's
I
a reason
agree.
for that. And I just find it real. I always found it really funny that like the thing they just decided to hang their hat on in the second movie was that one thing that like
Right.
it's very like
Which, by the way, they say they had no thought of the second movie. They hadn't. There wasn't
No
a
surprise.
Yeah.
no that and yeah that, I mean that's well documented. I think that whole to be continued thing was just this will be
No,
Yeah,
the to be continued thing was only added on the VHS
Right.
tape. It's not in the actual.
That's one of those
theatrical release.
urban things, like the urban legend things, like the Bernstein Bears, like how you people, like everyone remembers. You know,
I don't know what this is.
there's like
No
there's
one
like the
remembers the Berenstein Bears.
no.
I know what they are. I've read those books to my son.
So there's these articles that are written like so Bernstein Bears. Everybody remembers it spelled Bernstein Bears, not like EIN, not AIN, but it was never spelled that way, and people swear that that's a mistake. Just like people swear that they remember seeing To Be Continued in the movie theater at the like people will like it's a thing that's ingrained in their memories to a point where they're like no, that people will swear to you that they were in the movie theater and that was the first time I saw it To Be Continued and I thought it was amazing, and yeah, not a thing.
Yeah.
And Doc is packing up his suitcase to put in the car because he's going to go into the future.
What am I thinking of? I almost forgot to bring extra plutonium. How did I ever expect to get back? One pellet, one trip. I must be out of my mind.
Which is again another plant, and just as he's going to plant it, Einstein looks over and he goes, "What's
I
that?"
smell terrorists.
He smells terrorists. And we turn, and there are the Libyans in a VW bus.
All Latinos.
All Latinos, are they?
All Latino actors.
Oh, the 80s, man.
Yeah, the 80s.
It's the 80s.
Once you see one brown guy, you seen them all. Such an interesting plot line, though, to have Libyan terrorists. At the time in 85 is a big deal.
Sure,
Yeah,
no.
and all of that.
But also, it is like it's one of those things, and I mean, Back to the Future holds up much better than a lot of other movies in the 80s does. But the casual use of terrorists for just like
Right.
you know,
Yeah.
in the world we live in today, you're like, if we're going into terrorism, like this is a serious movie. But
Yeah.
this is like not that. And you're like, yeah, I stole some. Maybe they wanted a bomb.
They wanted to build a nuclear weapon.
Yeah. That's why Stoltz was playing. This is tragic. This is super
I
tragic.
think Stoltz,
Eric,
I
what
think
are you doing?
Stoltz had some rare insight.
movie about terrorism and science.
And a time machine, man.
And I might have sexual attraction to my mother.
Yeah, I might be sleep with my mom. Dude, that's an independent
Heavy.
film.
That's some Oedipal stuff. Right
That is
there.
an independent
You know
film,
what?
son.
Doing the indie dark Back to the Future,
That's what I'm saying.
it's not a bad
I
idea.
want into that future. I
Get
wanna
Eric
see
Stoltz to play Doc Brown.
that. Oh, do it now.
now
Oh.
that's a moneymaker right there. You just don't nobody steal that idea listening.
Terrorists and time
Guys,
travel.
I got to
and-
talk to you guys afterwards about a business investment that I'm thinking about.
So they're coming in. They've got guns. Doc pulls out a gun.
They're bazookas, man. Those guns. A bazooka.
Don't bring a pistol to a bazooka fight.
And Marty watches them gun down Doc.
Again, tragic. Like
Tragic.
Eric Stoltz wasn't wrong. It's a very upsetting movie.
Yeah.
And we have Marty with the classic, "No, you bastards!"
Oh, God.
That's
That was some tough acting from Michael Fox in that moment.
He just put on a full dance set on
Yeah,
Family
it's
Time.
fair.
It's fair.
He was really
And
tired.
he was
That's
arguing with Meredith Baxter Birney.
He was channeling it. You bastards.
Meredith.
Just picturing a bunch of Meredith Baxter Bernies in that VW,
In the
chasing
VW.
it down.
You're trying to kill my career.
How many
Method
outtakes do they have him saying Meredith, you bastard?
You bastard. Robert's like, Michael,
Michael.
man, you did it again.
So
We can't put blonde wigs on the terrorists, Michael.
So they corner him. They're about to shoot him, and the gun jams. And he jumps into, as we knew he would, into the DeLorean, starts speeding away. There is a very fun car chase in which It almost gets up to 88, and then it doesn't, and then he turns, because you got to tease it a little bit.
Yeah.
And then that big bazooka comes out behind him that he sees in the side view mirror, and then he punches it, and right up to 88, and boom, slams into a scarecrow, and then slams into the barn.
And I do like, I it's one of those little things, but I love that we're with him in the perspective. Like, we don't ever see the moment from the outside, like from what the living see. Like, we don't see that amazing moment again where the DeLorean disappears. We're literally in the car with him.
Yeah.
We
And there's a
see them
scarecrow.
all. We see a scarecrow.
So here's what's interesting about this. It goes to ILM as the effects company that's handling all this, and they spent a whole lot of time developing what does time travel look like. And they came up with all this conceptual art and everything you would see as you went through time travel. And finally, Zemeckis said, no, it's instantaneous. You don't see nothing. There is nothing to see. And I was thinking about this.
Because you don't go anywhere.
Because you don't go anywhere. And it's
Just
literally...
like Einstein didn't.
You went somewhere with ice. I know that much.
And I was thinking about it as like, what did ILM do 1 year later, which is Star Trek IV, which has the weirdest time travel sequence in the history of the universe.
I forgot about that.
Right.
That is so... I think I liked it when I saw it in 1986, but man, it is a weird
man, can you imagine like Marty McFly's head becoming clouds? Nimbus cloud, go weird. The Einstein showing up as a cloud formation. That would be brilliant.
I just love the idea that somebody a year later was like, what are we going to do? You're like, I'll tell you what you're going to do. Go get the file.
Probably the same guy that lit the dog food.
God.
I'll tell you what you do. We're working on that on the show.
It was the Star Trek time travel scene that killed his career. Back to dog food.
You need some time travel or some dog food. I'm your guy.
So he crashes into this barn, and immediately lights come on in the house. And man, that family got up quick.
Oh yeah!
As they come down, they open up the door to the barn. They see the DeLorean, and the dad goes, "Oh, it's a rocket ship." And the kid goes, "No, Dad, look!" and shows him a comic book, which has like zombies from outer space on it. And I have to tell you a brief story. So Sid Sheinberg, who is the big, super powerful executive, he made several good suggestions, which he suggested that they change the name of Marty's mom from Meg to Lorraine. He suggested that don't call him Professor Brown, call him Doc Brown. Another really good suggestion. Yeah. He also suggested a new title. He was not happy with the title Back to the Future. He said this should be called Spaceman from Pluto.
Oh, Jesus.
I'm sorry?
He saw the thing on the comic book, which was like zombies from Pluto or space zombies from Pluto. He said it should be called Spaceman from Pluto. Yeah. And he sent this as a note to Spielberg, Zemeckis, and Gale. And they're like, what do we do? I mean, this is an unbelievably powerful person who's asked this. Yeah. How do we say that this is we can't do this? And they all love the title Back to the Future, obviously. So this is how Spielberg handles it. And I think this is so brilliant. He writes Sheinberg a note that says, "Dear Sid, thanks so much for sending us that this morning. We all had such a great laugh. What a funny thing to send. You made our morning. That was hilarious. Thanks so much for everything, Steven."
Wow.
And they never heard of it again.
That is a baller move.
Right?
Baller move.
Hey, Spielberg took a chance.
That's a Spielberg move.
Yeah, it's a Spielberg move.
It's a Spielberg move.
Only he can get away with that move.
He has some huevos, man.
Yeah.
So, and as this family is looking at this car, the gold wing door pops open, and out comes Marty McFly. What we haven't mentioned was they have these radiation suits, and he has the mask down of the radiation suit. Looks like the character in the comic book, and they run screaming.
Yeah.
And he falls down.
And then I love when he comes out and he's got the hood up. So you're like, okay, well, like now they'll see he's a human. They're like, the son, he's already started mutating, taking on the human form. You're like, whoa. And then what is it? And the dad's like, you mutated bastard!
They open fire on him with a shotgun.
Yeah. That's right.
He jumps back in the DeLorean. And by the way, they have 3 DeLoreans. One's the hero car, which is the car that looks perfect. Everything is built on it. Every detail is pristine and nice. The second is the stunt car, which they're like, you cannot show this in close shots, but this is what drives through the barn and does all the things that are difficult. The third is one for process shots. They've literally cut the DeLorean in pieces, so you can be behind Marty, looking forward through the windshield. You could be on the side, looking to the side. And they've just cut the DeLorean all in pieces. So he's in the stunt car right now, drives out of the barn, and at the Twin Pine farm, what does he do?
Takes out a pine.
Takes out a pine. Again, it's
boy,
so...
is that farmer mad.
Yeah.
My pine tree!
So he's gotten away and he's driving and he thinks, okay, this is a dream. I got to get a grip on myself. And then he slams on his brakes because there he sees the Lyon Estates, which is where his family lives. And it is just a big open field. The entrance gate, which we had seen in the previous scene where he got to his house, and a big sign that says, opening soon, Lyon Estates.
And what is it? It says something like, live in the house of tomorrow today or something like
so
that.
correct.
Like it's clearly set up like these are going to be this amazing, perfect neighborhood. And you're like, no, it's a real shithole in 85.
And he yells at some people that are driving by, please, you got to help me. And they run away.
Yeah.
And then
That woman does not want her husband to stop.
no,
She really does not.
That was great.
And then of course his car won't start and he has to push it down behind some bushes. And we go back to Hill Valley to the beautiful sounds of Mr. Sandman.
Mr. Sandman, bring me a dream. It's a very musical episode of Cine-Files.
It is. It's been a lot of singing.
Mr. Sandman, bring me a dream. Make her complexion like peaches and cream.
And we see this whole new world. We see there's a movie theater with a Ronald Reagan, Barbara Stanwyck movie playing. I think it's Queen of Montana. He's distracted and a car honks at him. He looks over at a car pulling into the Texaco station and 4 guys come out, which I remember people like checking your oil and doing your windshield and pumping your gas. My son had no idea what was happening. He's like, what's happening there? Apparently Texaco gave them everything. They gave them the actual design of Texaco stations, Texaco pumps, Texaco uniforms from their archives. Yeah. And then the company went bankrupt. So, we see the big music playing is Davy Crockett and 16 Tons. We see a kid bouncing around on spring shoes. We see the beautiful pristine town square, the moving clock tower where the bell goes off, and he sees a guy throw away a newspaper. He looks at it and sees the date, and he's still going, this has got to be a dream. And he sees a sign for a public telephone in the soda shop. He goes into the soda shop, which in the future, in the 80s, was like a jazzercise studio.
Yeah. All right, yeah.
This is, by the way, one of the few interior/exterior sets on the Universal lot. Most of these buildings you can't go in. In this one, you can go in. It's been in tons of things. He goes in and someone says,
"Hey, kid, what'd you do, jump ship?" "What? Well, what's with the life preserver?"
This is a joke that goes over and over again.
Oh, yeah. They just don't stop with that life jacket.
Nope. And whenever I wear my vests around the Collider offices, I get that crack every single time by somebody.
Well, but like, and
So
now
annoying.
but it's become so like tied to this movie that like whenever like anyone is wearing one of those vests, you're like, what's your Marty McFly going on over there?
Even if you're not wearing an orange one.
And he goes to the back, looks in the phone book, finds Doc Brown's address, tears the page out right in front of the guy, which I was just like, dude, what are you tearing out pages of my phone book? And then he asks about the address, and the guy says, "You gonna order something?" And I love this bunch of jokes.
Give me a tab.
Tab? I can't give you a tab unless you order something.
Right, give me a Pepsi free.
You want a Pepsi, pal? You're gonna pay for it.
Look, just give me something without any sugar in it, okay?
Something without sugar.
And out comes a cup of coffee. That's a great little run of jokes, even if nobody today knows what a tab is.
That's true. But I don't think like this movie. I also like. There's this one moment when he is in the phone booth ripping on the thing, but like he's got his little digital watch that beeps.
Oh.
And there's this moment where the guy running the diner like looks at him funny, and it's like it's a really great thing. Like we talk about this a lot in movies. It came up, with Captain Marvel and the whole like, should she know what a flannel is? Like when you're really on top of your game with your writing, and they really are. They thought of every single thing that he would have on him, or that he would say, or that he would do, and they're like, what's everything that would be incongruous? What's everything that wouldn't work that people wouldn't know? And they just, and that's where you get all of these great jokes, and it just doesn't stop.
Yeah.
Like they know, like there's a lot of movies that come out today where they would have somebody in a vest like that, and just it wouldn't occur to them to have anybody remark on it, and they just have everybody remark on it.
It's so I'm just so in awe of this screenplay, not because of like the beautiful dialogue, and not because of like depth of character or huge meaning or anything, just of like this is tight and hard to do. And he sits down next to someone who we don't exactly see, and then we hear,
"Hey, McFly,
and there's a perfect turn in sync because he's sitting next to his dad.
Well, and even like leading into it,
They're in
he
the
gets,
same position,
He gets
right?
frustrated. He's so stressed out. He sort of leans down and he puts his hand on his head.
that's right.
And so even before you get Hey McFly, they are in matching poses, father and son. And then when you hear it and they both turn together, it's.
And there's young Biff, and we basically play out the same scene.
Yeah.
Except now it's about homework.
Oh, hey, Biff. Hey, guys. How are you doing?
Yeah, you got my homework finished, McFly?
Well, actually, I figured since it wasn't due till Monday.
Hello? Hello? Anybody home? Hey, think, McFly, think. I gotta have time to recopy it. You realize what would happen if I hand in my homework in your handwriting? I'll get kicked out of school. You wouldn't want that to happen, would you?
And young Crispin Glover, man, what he does is just crazy.
And Marty McFly's face. I mean, Michael J. Fox's face for this whole scene is great because like it just there's not really a change in his face. He just has this like wide-eyed like what is happening, and it doesn't change. He just like for the entire scene, he's just like, what? It's amazing.
Well, and this is why like Michael J. Fox is amazing. He deserved being this huge star at this moment. He is so good and so funny and gets the tone just right, unlike Eric Stoltz. And again, we get another life preserver joke, and then the Biff and his gang. By the way, Billy Zane is one of the guys in the gang.
Yeah,
and Casey
Shamasco.
Oh, really?
And then there's the pugilist in Young Gun.
And then there's the third
friend
guy.
Billy Zane.
And they head out. It's a really nice 2-shot with George and Marty sitting in the foreground, seeing the guys leave in the background. And then we cut to this shot, which is exactly how you don't do things, which is that you have the profile of George and Marty is totally obscured behind him.
Oh, yeah.
And then he slowly peeks out from behind George's profile with this completely stunned, bewildered expression on his face. It's amazing.
What? You're George McFly. Yeah, who are you?
And just as George is going, what are you staring at me? And just as he starts to talk about him, up comes Goldie.
Why are you gonna let those guys treat you like that?
Well, they're bigger than me.
And Goldie says, if you let people treat like that now, they're going to be taking advantage of you the rest of your life.
Yeah.
Look at me. You think I'm gonna spend the rest of my life in this slop house?
Watch it, Goldie.
No, sir. I'm gonna make something of myself. I'm going to night school, and one day I'm gonna be somebody.
That's right, he's gonna be mayor.
Yeah. By the way, one thing the 80s are so good at casual racism. But like which is like it's like
true. That is
which
a quote.
Well, because it's like
It's true.
It's like it's one of those things like obviously like that's the setup for the joke, and then you know, well, the colored guy's never gonna be mayor, and you're like, I am gonna be mayor, you'll see, but you're like, it's this thing where we're like, okay, it's the 50s, so we're gonna establish that racism's a thing, but it's like friendly racism. Like, you're just my buddy, you're my boss, it's okay. And you're like,
Yeah, because the coffee shop owner says that. That'll be the day. Right. By the way, I love that coffee shop owner. He is a
He's
perfect
great.
character
He's
actor.
great. And again, like I'm not knocking on Back to the Future.
No.
Like it is what it, but it's one of those differences of the way things like that doesn't happen. You don't do that in movies anymore.
Here's my question, and this goes into time travel rules.
I knew, by the way, I knew when I was watching the movie preparing for this that you were going to say what you're about to say, but please go.
Well, so does Goldie decide to become mayor because Marty gives him the idea? That's how it appears in this scene.
Yes.
Except that all changes in Back to the Future time travel rules affect the future. Therefore, in the future, he shouldn't have been mayor because Marty had never gone back in time to tell him that.
So when we're in Hill Valley in the beginning of the movie, you see that Goldie is mayor. That's why Michael J. Fox says it. But when Michael J. Fox goes back and says he's going to be mayor, and he's like, yeah, I am going to be mayor. That's clearly where he gets the idea to be mayor, which never would have happened in the timeline where before Marty went back in time.
So here, let me give you a different example. If you look at the clock tower in the beginning of the movie, there is no hole where Doc's foot slipped through the clock tower where it broke. And when you go to the end of the movie, that hole is there because the future has been changed by things that were done in the past, just as Marty's parents were changed. But Goldie was already mayor in the previous timeline. Therefore, Marty didn't change him to be mayor.
Yeah.
And Chuck Berry and Johnny B. Good clearly exist in the previous timeline. So Chuck Berry couldn't have heard Johnny B. Good from Marty.
So I have two answers.
Yes. One is it's a movie.
One is the setup is so good. Like, and this does happen sometimes. Like sometimes when you're writing something, you go, okay, Because like these guys, to your point, if they figured out that the clock tower doesn't have the hole in first 1985 and it does, they clearly thought this through and knew what they were doing.
Yes.
So sometimes the joke is just worth it.
Yep.
And in both of these cases, Marty saying that's going to be mayor. Yeah, I am going to be mayor. And the Johnny B. Good stuff. The joke is just good enough that you go, we're going to do this because it's good enough. The other thing, the pseudoscience time travel, is that when you've dealt with multiverses and other stuff and you've read a lot of comics, sometimes things can happen in both timelines, but in different ways. So the way that I just justify it in my nerdy time travel canon is that in the original 1985, Johnny B. Good got written in some other way, and Goldie at some point decided he was going to be mayor.
Who we knew was ambitious and working hard and going to night school.
Marty McFly coming back in time changed it slightly.
Right.
And so some things he changed drastically.
His parents.
Like his parents. And some things just maybe happened a little faster. Like,
I'm fine with this.
Yeah.
It's funny. Like, there's.
By the way, I love that we're like, let's talk about science. Rocha's face right now is like, yeah, okay, time travel.
No, yeah, I know. It was a big deal. he could have been mayor in multiple timelines.
Sure.
So it doesn't matter if he mentioned it or not. It still could have occurred anyway.
I would say,
but I appreciate all your exchanging long words about it. I really did. And you're right. I think you're right. Sometimes the joke is worth it.
Sometimes the joke.
And good writing means you can get away with it.
Yeah. I would say, as time travel rules go, Back to the Future is probably my favorite. Terminator time travel rules are basically, it's all going to happen anyway. Nothing you're doing is really making a difference here.
I've never seen a more useless series.
Terminator 1 is that, and then Terminator 2 goes out of its way to say it's not all destined to be. We're on our own. Like they actually,
and then later on they go,
and then later on it goes off the rails with time travel rules. Like it's good. Like Back to the Future does have a very consistent set of rules. And
they bend a little bit,
as we have said, and a character that is so good and entertaining with exposition that they can literally whiteboard their theory of time travel, and it works. Like you're like.
As opposed to Star Trek, which is just the worst. Star Trek is just, we're creating new timelines all over the place. And who knows?
They're violating the Prime Directive all over the place in that film. Nerd time.
because in the world in the Star Trek universe, human beings are the hold my beer of the Federation.
They really are.
Just going around. By the way, that's not me. That's from the internet. Somebody has written this whole extended thing about how you have the Vulcans who are smarter, the Klingons who are better fighters, but humanity has sort of somehow taken the main spot because they are the hold my beer of the Federation who just does whatever the fuck they want. And the Vulcans are like, we don't know how they do it, but they seem to do it.
Well, that is,
not even American humanity. Let's be real. Even Chekhov is an Americanized version of a Russian, so it's American humanity that says, "Hold my beer."
Well, it's funny that you say that because this is geeky, but at the very beginning of Kirk and Spock, Kirk beats Spock at chess, at 3D chess, which he does regularly, and it's just what you said. Wait, I'm way smarter than you.
Yeah.
Why do you keep beating me? And it's because.
Yeah, it is. If you look this up on the internet, and this is a sidebar from Back to the Future, but it's very entertaining because this guy literally, it's something along the lines of he's like, the Vulcans are talking, someone else is talking to the Vulcans, and the Vulcans are like, look, we told them not to blow up the warp core, so they blew up the warp core, and that somehow sent them into an alternate timeline, and in that alternate timeline, they decided to kill bad versions of themselves. They built themselves another warp core, but had to use it for something else, but then somehow knocked themselves back into our timeline with more technology than they ever had before, and now we have all this technology that we've never had, so like, we just kind of let them do what they're gonna do, because we assume they're going to just blow themselves up at some point.
Yeah. We're going to take the benefit of it while they're still around as a species.
So George leaves the diner.
Best segue. So George leaves the diner and goes.
Marty chases him
to peep on Lorraine.
Yes. Finds his bike, looks up at his tree, and there's George with the binoculars on. This would not be in a movie today.
No.
There's a lot of things that would not be in a movie today.
This one is.
Casual racism, casual sexism of the 80s.
Oh, yeah.
Was off the charts as well.
Casual rapiness at the end of the movie, but we'll get
well,
to
That's
later.
not casual. But that is a bad person doing a bad thing where the hero stops him.
Right.
That is not one of the hero's dad who is spying on his mom, falls out of the tree. Marty pushes him out of the way of the car, and then Marty gets hit by the car.
And one of my favorite lines in the movie is,
I hit another one.
I hit another one of those kids. Not I hit a kid. I hit another one of those kids.
Another one of these kids jumped in front of my car.
Right.
How
There's
many
a whole
kids?
there's a whole separate subplot where Lorraine's dad is a child murderer.
Oh yeah, or just has
like
terrible eyes or something.
Yeah, like he's totally blind on the road, knocking over kids.
And that sound that it's clearly Foleyed, but that sound that Michael J. Fox's head makes when he,
yeah,
that clunk.
Well, and there's a great shot too of after it of Michael J. Fox in the background and then Crispin Glover sitting up into the foreground, and it's so perfect because that is a perfect plant payoff because we have established if Dad hit George with the car, they brought him up to my room, and I seemed like a lost puppy, and I fell in love with it. And the minute that Crispin Glover sits up, not being the person that gets hit in the car, we go,
yeah, Marty has taken his spot in the timeline. Yep.
Cut to the dark.
Again, this is one of those iconic Back to the Future scenes that gets repeated over and over and over again. And this is the first one, and it's so good.
This scene is so good. So my son watching it, we had to stop the movie because he was like, this scene is really creepy. This is really creepy. It's creeping me out. And I'm like, you know what? You're right. There's some weird stuff happening in this scene.
Mom, is that you? You're there now. Just relax. Been asleep for almost 9 hours now.
Had a horrible nightmare. Dreamed I went back in time. It was terrible.
Well, safe and sound now, back in good old 1955.
1955?
Light turns on, and there is young Lea Thompson. She's gorgeous.
Beautiful.
And her performance in this stuff is, I'm lacking words.
It's just like every line in this scene is infused with just like pure innocent sex, but pure sex.
Right.
Like,
She is horny and innocent.
She is horny.
I mean, she is so into in a predatory way.
Yeah.
Like she wants to get what she wants to get.
Right. Which is
when he asks where his pants are.
Where are my pants?
Over there? On my hope chest?
Like,
that might be, I can remember being in the theater and hearing that line and just thinking that is the funniest line.
Yeah.
That is so brilliant. And the whole scene is that.
I didn't know what a hope chest was, but I got the gist.
I got the joke. And then, and as we discussed, he calls him Calvin because he has the Calvin Klein purple underwear.
And you guys can talk about how beautiful she is in that scene. I think young Michael Vogel had some feelings about that purple underwear on Michael J. Fox.
I'm sure.
Letting everybody.
Don't sully the film like that.
Listen, I'm just saying. And he looked real cute in those little purple Calvin Klein.
And she
briefs.
comes over and sits next to him and then touches his face. And
it's so creepy.
My son is right. This is creepy.
It's like George. It's like George Lucas goes, "Hey, I'm gonna get a little brother sister action." Steven Spielberg, hold my beer. Hold my beer. I got your beat on that, son. We're gonna see how far out we can go on this one.
The Oedipal. No one really got into the full Oedipal power of time travel. I mean, there's some stuff happening here.
But it's just such a great, like any scene is built around like just that good push-pull of conflict. And it's just like, you're so with Marty on this. It's like you see what's happening and you get it. And you are 100% with him of like, this is weirding me out. And when he falls off the bed.
Lorraine, are you up there? Oh my God, it's my mother. Quick, put your pants back on.
It's all perfect.
Well, and it's jeans flying, flying off camera, hitting him in the face.
Well, and it's so perfectly set up with my mom must have been raised a nun.
Right.
Is that everything has been reversed in this one moment in the scene.
Oh, I don't like these girls that call boys and do that. I would never have done that. And you're like, hey, girl, you were horny.
Downstairs, we're having dinner. And again, this is a scene where they shot everybody else first and Michael J. Fox later. And then we get another life preserver joke. And Dad is fixing the TV. And we have the kid with the coonskin cap that's from the Wonder Years.
Jason Hervey.
Jason Hervey, right.
Now producer here in Hollywood for a while.
And he meets all the kids, including little Joey in the playpen.
Mm-hmm. He cries whenever we take him out of the. We just leave him in there all the time. Like, well, This family has had a long history.
Yeah. What's the comedy he says to him like quietly? He says, "Get used to these marks."
Gotta get used to these marks, kid.
That's brilliant.
And again, it's just like this is one of those things that is not required for the plot of the movie, but they do such a good job of just like the fun of the time travel jokes. Like there's a TV. Oh yeah, we've got 2 of them, and you're like, two. Nobody has two TVs. And then he's like, oh, I've seen this one, and just the look of especially like Lorraine's dad. He's like, this is a new episode. He's like, no, it's a rerun, and they're just like,
what?
What's a rerun? Like, I mean, just like those, like, it's just like, it's so fun and it's so brilliant. And then meanwhile, you got mom just getting handsy under the table.
And he asks where the Riverside Drive is, and it ends up, he's like, oh, that's JFK Drive.
Who the hell is John F. Kennedy?
And they ask, maybe we should call your parents. He goes, oh, they're not there. And then it's,
Mother, with Marty's parents out of town, don't you think he ought to spend the night? I mean, after all, Dad almost killed him with the car.
That's true, Marty. I think maybe you should spend the night. I think you're our responsibility.
Well, gee, I don't know.
And he can sleep in my room.
In my room. By the way, I was like, someone is ballsy.
That's what they call thirsty nowadays, kids.
and that hand on the knee under the table, and Marty is out of there.
Yeah.
I gotta go. Thanks very much. It was wonderful. You were all great. See you all later. Much later.
And I love that he gets out and they're like, what a strange boy. And I love Dad's last line.
He's a very strange young man.
He's an idiot. Comes from upbringing. His parents are probably idiots, too. Lorraine, you ever have a kid who acts that way, I'll disown you.
By the way, we missed out on never seeing the grandparents. Like, we missed out on this movie never seeing Lorraine's parents or George's parents. That would have been an interesting extra scenes to shoot. That might have had
in the Eric Stoltz version. We're gonna get deep into that.
Your son's an idiot.
If Back to the Future was made today, that would be in the world of Back to the Future movies. That would be the spin-off movies.
Yeah, right.
Yes, but right now Marty is heading off to Doc Brown's, and he's gonna need his help if he's gonna set things right. Unfortunately, unless you have a time machine, you're gonna have to wait a whole week to see how things work out, because this is it for part 1 of our exploration of Back to the Future. As always, you can reach us on our Facebook page. Just search for The Cine-Files. You can subscribe to us on iTunes or YouTube. You can support the show by visiting patreon.com/The Cine-Files. Buy a movie on cinefiles.net. If you want to reach me, you can do it on Twitter at SRMorris, Instagram at SRMorris1. Rocha, you can meet at The Rocha Says, Michael at MKToon, and Shannon at Shannon_McClung. And after you've followed all of us on our various social media, you can come back in 1 week for part 2 of Back to the Future on The Cine-Files.
Lorraine, have you ever been in a situation where you knew you had to act a certain way, but when you got there, you didn't know if you could go through with it?
Oh, I think I know exactly what you mean.
You do?
You know what I do in those situations?
What?
I don't worry.
Hello and welcome once again to The Cine-Files, where we return with our special guests Shannon McClung and Michael Vogel to discuss part 2 of Back to the Future. My name is Steve Morris, and I am a filmmaker and directing instructor in Los Angeles, California.
Hello, everyone. My name is John Rocha. I'm a voiceover artist, writer, producer, and host over at Collider Video for Collider and Collider Sports. And I got to push the sports
was a lot of punt.
I got to, yeah.
Did the vocal energy, does that...
That's sports, Collider Sports. Today, Collider Sports. We're talking all kinds of things. Yeah, no, I love it, and I'm excited to jump back into part 2 with these two knuckleheads.
I've had so much fun talking about the movie with these guys.
These two slackers.
It has been great. Shall we jump just directly back in?
Yeah, I'm glad to be back for day 2.
So when last we saw our time traveler, he had already screwed up the future by getting hit by his grandfather's car in place of his dad and brought up to his mom's bedroom, where she started to see him as the lost puppy. His only hope is to seek out the one friend he has back in 1955, and that's Doc Brown.
Doc? Don't say a word. Doc! I don't want to know your name. I don't want to know anything about you.
Listen, Doc.
This is, by the way, shot at the Gamble House in Pasadena, which is a beautiful example of craftsman architecture designed by architects Green and Green. And there is some rumor that my house was designed by Green and Green.
Oh, wow.
I don't think it is. We're pretty sure, because I went to check and there's no records of who the hell built my house. There's like one thing in the Hall of Records that says it was built in 1916.
Wow.
But not by who. But the Gamble House is beautiful. You should visit if you want in Pasadena and want to see some beautiful craftsman architecture. And he knocks on the front door. The interiors, by the way, are a different Green and Green craftsman house in Pasadena called the Blacker House. I know all of you wanted to know that information.
True.
And
were your interiors in your house designed by the Blacker House people?
they're all Green and Green. It's the same designers. the same designers that designed the Gamble House and Blacker House did not
who designed
probably
the
design
outside
my
of your house and who designed the inside? That's what I'm trying to get
Probably
at.
nobody important. Anyway, and he knocks on the door and the Doc Brown pops out wearing a big thing on his head.
My God.
I love Crispin.
You know,
Lloyd.
most characters, most actors in a movie get one really good entrance in the movie if they're lucky. Doc Brown has I think every scene is a great entrance.
Every scene is a great entrance. And by the way, they had shot this whole scene in this house in Pasadena with Eric Stoltz. And then they go, okay, we got to go shoot it again. They go back to the people that own the house, and those people had sold the house. And the house was in escrow, and escrow was closing in like 5 days. And they're like, we have to shoot this scene in the next 5 days, or otherwise we don't know if we'll ever get in this house again.
Wow.
Which they did manage to do. And so Doc puts a suction cup on Marty's head and wants to read his mind. Another Coast Guard joke. There's a lot of them in this movie.
You want me to make a donation to the Coast Guard Youth Auxiliary?
Doc, I'm from the future. I came here in a time machine that you invented. Now I need your help to get back to the year 1985.
Doc Brown's response in a really great slow way is, my God, do you know what this means?
It doesn't work.
It doesn't work. And he says, no, you invented a time machine. I love Doc Brown touches the bandage on his head and says,
Time machine. I haven't invented any time machine.
and then he wants to prove it. He pulls out his driver's license. He pulls out a picture of his family. And he's like, this is a terrible picture. It's the photo cut off your brother's hair. Oh.
Yeah.
And then he says, who is president?
Ronald Reagan.
Ronald Reagan, the actor?
What's really funny about this joke
is that it would work
exactly.
today.
Yeah, true.
Exactly
Absolutely.
right. Apparently, when Ronald Reagan screened this movie in the White House, he thought this was so funny, he had them rewind the film and play this joke again. Which kind of makes me like Ronald Reagan.
Yeah.
It's not my favorite guy, but
rewind it.
And then we get on a run of jokes. Who's the Secretary of State? Jerry Lewis. And he follows Doc, and finally he says the story of you fell off the toilet, you hit your head, you had the idea for the flux capacitor, and now Doc comes out. And we're out on a very, very foggy night back at Lyons Estate and to go see the car. And this, by the way, was shot on the Universal backlot. The daytime exterior was shot somewhere way far away, and all they did was they take those big Lyon Estates entranceways, and it's shot like right next to the Psycho House on the Universal backlot. And the reason that it's so foggy is not because it looks cool; it's so you can't see the Psycho House right in the background of the shots.
After I fell off my toilet, I drew this.
He shows the drawing,
Flux capacitor.
and Marty opens up the DeLorean and points to the actual flux capacitor. And the joy of Doc Brown to realize that he actually invented something that works.
It works! It works! I finally invent something that works!
It's your ass, it works.
He doesn't know about the mechanical dog food arm yet because that seemed pretty effective.
It's really, let's be honest, which are you going to get more use out of?
True.
I mean, it won't stop my parents from ever meeting by building a mechanical dog food arm. It doesn't seem as dangerous.
But the plutonium aspect makes it.
How many different ways have you said plutonium?
I don't know, man. I was never good at science.
Or pronunciation, apparently.
no, I speak English mighty well.
Back at Doc's place, we have managed to hook up the videotape. By the way, they could not find a black and white TV to play this. They couldn't make it work with all the so what they did was they got a color TV, a small color TV. They built it into an old TV set, and then they played the movie in black and white.
Did you guys ever have black and white TVs?
Yeah.
No, I know we did. We're old enough to have them. Did you have a black and white TV?
No.
Fascinating.
Never.
I had in my dorm room, I had a 9-inch black and white TV. I remember watching the premiere of Star Trek: The Next Generation in my dorm room on my 9-inch black and white TV.
Oh, wow.
I had a 25-inch TV with a Nintendo 64 hooked up to it in my dorm.
Yeah.
Wow.
Here we go.
Yeah, I
Charmed
know.
life of
I
Michael
know.
Vogel.
we had a black and white TV with no remote control. You had to get up and turn the knobs downstairs. Oh yeah, and then upstairs, when we got the color TV downstairs, I got to have a 12-inch, 13-inch black and white TV. That's where I watched all my professional wrestling growing up as a kid. Was Channel 20 on the black and white TV, sitting next to the television. Those were the days.
I remember my parents, they had the big color TV, but in the console built into a big wooden piece of furniture.
Right.
And it had just the knob to control it. And my grandparents got a TV with the remote that made the ping noise. And I remember, and they had a glass coffee table. Yeah, so it wasn't infrared. You don't remember this?
No, I have no idea.
This is why it was called the clicker, is that it made a noise, and the noise would tell the TV to turn the channel. And they had a glass coffee table, and if you dropped your keys on the glass coffee table, the TV would change the channel. Vogel's looking at me like, what kind of barbarian society do you come from?
Yeah.
We had 2 TVs in my house.
Nobody has 2 TVs.
Yeah, right.
Okay. So we're watching the videotape, and it's funny because did he videotape Doc getting shot? He didn't, right?
I don't think so.
He didn't.
But he certainly videotaped the plutonium and the Libyans and all this stuff is on the videotape. And then we get to the information that you need 1.21 gigawatts to do this thing, and Doc Brown has a total freak out. 1.21 gigawatts?
1.21 gigawatts! 1.21 gigawatts! Great Scott!
Did he say Great Scott here? Is this where he says Great Scott?
That's where he says Great
Is this the Great Scott?
Yeah.
Great Scott. And he goes, how could I be so careless? And Marty's like, well, we just need to get some plutonium. Oh, well, maybe plutonium is everywhere in 1985. And he's like, I think you're stuck here. It's like, no, I can't. I got a girl. And they go, well, is she pretty? Oh, Doc, she's beautiful. And then he pulls out, look what she gave me, and shows the I love you with the thing. And on the other side is the flyer to save the clock tower. And then Doc says,
Marty, I'm sorry, but the only power source capable of generating 1.21 gigawatts of electricity is a bolt of lightning.
What did you say?
A bolt of lightning. Unfortunately, you never know when or where it's ever going to strike.
We do now.
Which, by the way, one thing, you were talking about the note card way of writing scripts, but like another thing that I think people don't realize happens a lot is the back and forth writing when you're doing these scripts. That like it's not like everything is figured out in order. Like that they wrote this scene at the beginning and had her say, "I love you. Here's my phone number. I'm going to my grandma's house." And then they get to this part and they're like, well, it's good that we wrote that.
Right.
This will work out. That a lot of times you go like, you reach a point where you have a problem. You're like, how are we going to get him to bring up this like Marty won't have the idea because he's not smart enough to know that that's the same thing. Is he going to leave it out? Is he going to do this? And then they figure out we need to have Jennifer.
And then we go back.
And then you go back in the script. But then you go back in time. But then you go back and write it. And I just think, for people who don't know like that whole process, like that is one of those. And you get really excited about it. When you figure that out, you're like, oh shit, and you go back and you put it in, you're like, this works.
Well, and the other thing that happens, because frequently it's a mathematical equation where you come up with an idea and you go, oh, this should happen here. And then you go, oh no. Because if that happens here, then this character already knows that, which means they won't do that, which means they can't do that, which means that doesn't happen. You go, okay, well then if I move this over here, well that would solve that problem, and that creates all these other problems. And you're constantly trying to like, how do I have my cake and eat it too? Have all these good things I want and not mess them all up.
Most of the time just Tetrising your ideas.
Yeah, trying to make them all fit together. And this one, again, this is like the master, like they had that first Rubik's Cube and then they had a bigger one and a bigger one. This one is a really big one.
Yeah, and I think that's what makes you did it right, and this movie does it really right, where it's so effortless. Like when you get to the end of it and you're watching it, it all just flows so well that you don't think about it. But like it took them a long time to get there.
And there's this great thing. I can only describe this as Back to the Future camera work, and it's happened several times where Doc goes away from camera and Marty comes towards camera, and then Marty goes away from camera and Doc comes towards camera, and it's so bizarre in terms of filmmaking, and it's so great and dramatic and funny. And Doc is really excited, and he goes,
Next Saturday night, we're sending you back to the future.
Okay, all right. Saturday's good. Saturday's good. I can spend a week in 1955. I can hang out. You can show me around.
Marty, that is completely out of the question. You must not leave this house. You must not see anybody or talk to anybody. Anything you do could have serious repercussions on future events. Do you understand?
Yeah, well, I might have.
Like, well, you know, I fucked up bad, Doc. I fucked up real bad.
Pouring some vodka in a glass. Well, I've made some few mistakes here, Doc.
Whenever my mom fucked up, she poured herself a big glass of vodka. I'm gonna do the same thing.
And Doc says, "Let me see that picture again." Where before, you know, his brother's hair was cut off, and now his brother is half gone, which proves Doc's theory about how time works. Which also sort of like, wait, how come the picture hasn't disappeared? How come the picture is?
And again, it's one of those great. I mean, it is part of the Back to the Future like world of that. Is like, this is how we do stuff, and it is great. Like, it makes no sense at all. But it's such an awesome visual, and it just gets the point across so clearly, so visually, so dramatically that you're like, yep, I'll take it.
It's great. It's a perfect visual metaphor for what's going on.
But like, when you really think about it, what's actually happening is, as they all disappear, it means that Mom and Dad took this picture of just the two of us, of just me. And then you get to this empty picture, you're like, well, who the fuck took a picture of nothing? What?
Well, and they didn't, as of this moment in the timeline, they never were together, so they would all disappear all at once. There should be no picture.
The would be
It
no
is. It's
picture.
and you know, and this is like, and you know, you talked about. I'm sitting on a recliner and it keeps popping out, and I'm scared for my life.
Sorry.
But no, you talk about this a lot in other things. But like, you know, a good movie needs a good clock.
Right.
It needs that thing that says, oh, we're under the gun. And as soon as they go, oh, well, there's going to be a lightning bolt in a week and you're fine. You're like, okay, well, that's not really a clock. Because like, yes, we're waiting for that to happen, but there's not the sense of urgency. And by having the picture slowly disappear, as opposed to realistically, like as soon as George got knocked out of the way,
it was over.
Everyone's over. They don't meet. Marty disappears. End of movie. But by doing it this way and saying, well, we've got the time as the picture slowly fades, it allows you to actually have like, oh, this is our clock.
Yeah, it's brilliant. And it's you know, the thing that we've been saying the whole time is making sure everything makes sense is important. It's just not always the most important thing. It's an important thing. So Marty, now dressed in 50s garb, is outside the school with Doc. And I love that as they're having a little exposition about what we have to do to get them together, they just step over these bikes that are right in the middle of the grass. And it makes no sense and it's not important, but it's a totally funny little bit of behavior. They go inside. We ask, which one's your dad? And there we see George McFly being repeatedly kicked in the butt. Yeah. Because he has that kick me sign. And Doc's response is like, oh boy.
And they're kicking him really hard.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like really hard.
It's a tough time.
It was a harder time the 50s.
I mean, you got to be tough.
Principals would diddle you. Like, I mean, you know, it was rough, man.
I'm telling you. I've been around a long time. That's a tough time.
And then who comes up again but Strickland looking
looking the same.
And it is such a great joke. You're like, for all the amazing makeup work they do on everybody, they age them up and age them down, this idea that he is just a constant is just a great, funny little bit.
Maybe he's traveling through time.
Maybe.
There's a whole nother thing with Strickland, I'm sure.
Oh, that's the spinoff. That's the spinoff right there.
Principal Strickland.
Can we get James Tolkien to come out? He probably looks the same.
He probably does look the same, for God's sakes. What's interesting too about this is when Doc Brown, who's a massive science nerd, looks at your dad and goes, "Oh man, we're in some trouble."
Yeah.
That tells you something there.
Yeah,
when the nerd goes, the other nerd is way deeper down the well than you are.
I wonder a little about, because Doc Brown is clearly the child of a very wealthy family.
Yeah,
he lives in a mansion, which he's going to blow all the money in pursuit of this time machine. I really wonder, like, ooh, Young Doc Brown Chronicles. It's another series in our.
Oh yeah,
he can go off on some adventures.
I green like that.
Yeah. All right. Copyright Cine-Files.
Get Neil Patrick here.
Actually, I like that a lot. That's good.
What a shock. Let's move on.
George, Marty goes up to George, like, remember me, the guy who saved your life? And as he's talking to him, Doc Brown walks by the enchantment under the sea sign. And again, these are the plants that are happening over and over again. And Marty, it's trying to introduce George to Lorraine, and he kind of goes to meet her, and she only has eyes for Marty. And George kind of walks away. We hear Lorraine, or Doc hears Lorraine say, "Isn't he a dreamboat?" This is going to be tough.
Oh, man.
And I love Doc's line, which is,
This is more serious than I thought. Apparently your mother is amorously infatuated with you instead of your father.
Whoa, wait a minute. Doc, are you trying to tell me that my mother has got the hots for me?
Precisely.
to which Marty responds, "Wow, this is heavy."
This is the best. Like, it's all heavy. Is there some problem with gravity? What is it he said?
There's something wrong with the Earth's
gravitational pull.
Yeah.
Keep saying this.
And now the question is, how are we going to get your dad to interact with her on a social level? And then Doc sees, there's a, how does he describe it?
He calls it a rhythmic ceremony.
A rhythmic ceremony.
Of course, the Enchantment Under the Sea dance. They're supposed to go to this. That's where they kiss for the first time.
All right, kid. You stick to your father like glue and make sure he takes her to the dance.
Now we're off in the lunchroom, and Marty is talking to George. Man, he's paying. George got to be, who is this guy? And why is he paying so much attention to me?
Like, you'd be like, you hitting on me, bro?
Yeah.
And we find out that George is writing science fiction stories, but he could never show them to anyone. I mean, what if he got rejected? I don't think he could take that.
So weird. Where have we heard that before?
Yeah, right.
I guess that would be pretty hard for somebody to understand. No, not hard at all.
So the sweet part of the movie, honestly, is the connection between father and son that develops. Because isn't that what happens to all of us in our lives? Like, we think our fathers are so uncool. Well, at least I did. And then you cross that line with him for whatever reason, at whatever time in your life you do, and you're like, oh shit, like I didn't know you had all this other stuff going on. Yeah, it's a great connective thing, and it usually doesn't happen this young. It usually happens later in life. So. Yeah. It's fun to see
that moment. Like, I mean, I remember seeing pictures of my dad in Vietnam, or when he was a doctor in San Diego, and my dad was a player.
Yeah,
He was always out with these different ladies. And you're you see this guy, and you're you don't. And I think that's what's great about this movie is it really gets to the you don't know, and it's like you said, this is where they got the idea for it, but you just don't know your parents' lives and the story that your parents tell you. Probably not to the extreme of the McFlys.
Yeah, it's not.
But it's never the full story. You never really know. And so it's just, it really nails it. And to what we were talking about just a well-crafted story. It's just that one line with Marty being afraid to share his music and not knowing if he should do it or not. And then just having that moment where you're like, my dad had something and he was afraid to show it. And the guy that I know back in my timeline never did anything with it. Yeah. It's just there was nothing. He's a loser.
One of the things that Steven Spielberg said that was really interesting, I think, was that he looked at the script. He went, "Oh, this is actually a movie about the generation gap. This is a movie about kids not relating to their parents, but it's framed within this really beautiful sci-fi structure. So it's got this high concept frame to explore a really human thing, which is kids relating to their parents." I'm like, man, Steven Spielberg, I guess there's a reason why you're such a successful dude. But right now, Marty's trying to encourage George to go talk to Lorraine. She really wants you to ask her to the dance, which isn't such good advice. And George is going, no, I think she wants someone else. And we cut to Biff behind Lorraine. And he says some horrible.
What? You want it. You know you want it. You know you want me to give it to you.
Oh, he's assault. That's assault.
Oh, yeah. She slaps him, though.
Shut your filthy mouth. I'm not that kind of girl.
It's full hashtag me too. It's the whole ball of wax.
Yeah. And then Marty grabs Biff and pulls him away, and Biff stands up. And there is a great high angle looking down at Marty. I think Biff's on a couple of apple boxes in this one. He's tall. He's not actually that much taller than him.
But they don't add in that Marty looking that Marty take until the sequels, right?
I don't know. I don't think it's in here. No.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think so. I haven't watched the sequels in forever.
I like the third one.
I like the third one better than the second one.
Listen, y'all, Back to the Future 2 is fun times. You've got Biff as Donald Trump. You've got like Marty McFly in drag as his daughter. Like you have got
There's a lot of stuff in there.
You've got that awesome Pizza Hut dehydrator thing where like they just give you the little bag, you pop it in the dehydrator, you got a whole Pizza Hut pizza.
Look, there's a lot of stuff in there.
To me, this is like Back to the Future 2 is like if George Lucas was allowed to keep going down the Ewok train. That's what he would have ended up with. And this is what this.
When are we doing the Ewok movie on Cine-Files? Because I am here for it.
What Ewok movie?
Was that the Caravan of Courage?
The Caravan of Courage.
We're not doing the Caravan.
Battle
of
for
Courage.
Endor.
The Caravan of Courage and its sequel, the Battle for Endor. With Wilford Brimley.
I'll tell you what. Here's what I'll do. I will loan you guys the microphones. And you two can go do it, and we can put it on Patreon. I will have no connection to this whatsoever.
I mean, the level to which he'd have to donate on the Patreon to make that happen. I don't know.
Hey,
Talk about-
guys, guys and girls, who out there wants to hear these two do the? I don't even need to be the guest. I just want to hear these two do the Ewok Caravan of Courage of Cine-Files. Just on Twitter, let them know you want it.
That's at least a $5,000.
That's a big bid on Patreon. Yeah.
25,000, I would say.
And I would say for 25 grand, we do it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And you could call in and be part of the show. For 25 grand.
Dude, there's a lot of stuff the Cinephiles would do for 25 grand.
Kodak, Miyake.
Start that Kickstarter.
So the fight almost happens, but then Strickland walks up, and we end with Biff saying,
So why don't you make like a tree and get out of here?
and get out of here.
Get out of here. It's make like a tree and leave, you idiot.
Now, there are like 50 of those jokes in two, right?
Oh,
Yeah,
it keeps going.
Yeah. We're on the street, and Marty is still following him, and he's saying, he's like, if you don't ask her to the dance, I'm going to regret it for the rest of my life. And he says,
Look, I'm just not ready to ask Lorraine out to the dance. And not you, nor anybody else on this planet is going to make me change my mind.
On this planet. Boom.
on this planet.
There's the planet.
Cut to middle of the night. George asleep with a sci-fi magazine on his chest. Marty slips the headphones over him, hits a button on the Walkman, and we hear, which, by the way, the tape in the Walkman says Edward Van Halen. Yeah. And the reason is because the members of the band wouldn't agree to actually let them have the rights. The only person who said yes was Eddie. So they get Edward Van Halen, but not the band Van Halen.
That's hilarious.
So David Lee Roth apparently was not into this Back to the Future idea.
That isn't cool, man. Hand me my tights.
Like, he was worried about it too. This movie, rockers were
Clearly.
concerned about Back to
Across
the
the spectrum.
They had an image they had
They
to
all had a
maintain.
meeting at the rock and roll headquarters.
I
don't know, man.
Meanwhile, back at the rock and roll headquarters.
That is another good idea for a superhero show.
Kenny Loggins is saying, I'd never do that.
Even I wouldn't do that.
Real danger zone going into this movie.
Michael McDonald's trying to get hurt. No. Don't let Michael in here. Who let Michael in here?
Copyright Cine-Files.
Yeah, that's right.
He blasts the thing through the Walkman and then tells him, I am Darth Vader.
Yeah.
From the planet Vulcan. Oh, I thought that was so funny.
Great mix. First of all, how does he know where George lives? Second of all, how do he sneak in there? Third of all, how do he sneak in there wearing the freaking shit? I mean, like all
He
of it.
followed him to the house. Like,
Okay,
he did, but yes, the breaking and entering.
Yeah, breaking and entering.
Well, again, I'm gonna defend Eric Stoltz here for a minute.
Send this to Eric.
So Eric Stoltz reads this script where, so I go back in time, creepily follow my dad around, break into his house in the middle of the night and torture him. This is not a comedy.
So, by the way, there's a whole deleted scene that goes on forever of him convincing him to do this thing that's all cut out. Because you just cut to him running on the street saying, I've got to...
Yeah, you don't need it.
Oh, and he chloroforms him. That's why George oversleeps until 10 a.m. the next day.
Yeah.
Hashtag Eric's. Hashtag in defense
Stoltz
of
was
Eric
right.
Stoltz.
Yeah, in defense of Eric
Hashtag in
Stoltz.
defense of Eric Stoltz.
Yeah.
I mean, then I chloroform my dad.
And we have
Probably for the best that that's deleted.
Yeah. It is. And Marty's like at a garage where he can't open this bottle. And we have the great just like, take it, open it on the bottle opener. Again, little stuff, but very funny.
By the way, George McFly. So Marty's like, you should ask Lorraine out. I can't do it. This guy comes, guess what? this alien showed up and said the exact same thing as you.
Here's what I wonder is, does Star Trek and Star Wars exist into the Back to the Future universe? And what happened in 1966 when the first episode of Star Trek aired and you heard about the planet Vulcan, and in 1977 when Star Wars came out?
Yep.
Well, clearly that didn't happen because at the end of the movie, George has that book come out, which is clearly based on what happened to him.
Totally based on his experience.
So the reason that McFly's have all that money is because he made up Darth Vader and Vulcan in his book.
Well, except that Biff says, hey, your first book came out.
Yeah.
That's what I don't understand. I just caught that this time in 85.
Right.
Where did the money come from? I assumed that when I originally saw it, I assumed that he had written many books. But Biff does say, here's your first book came out.
Or did he say first printing of your book?
I think he said first book, but I'm not 100% sure.
No, he says first book.
Mr. McFly! Mr. McFly, you just arrived. Oh, hi, Marty. I think it's your new book.
Oh, honey, your first novel.
Okay. So maybe he's been writing, like, because sci-fi writers wrote
short
in magazines
stories
for years.
or sure.
Yeah.
I love
Sure.
this
Maybe that's
all.
it. And young Gene Roddenberry read one of those.
Wait, I have an idea. So Marty, in addition to inventing skateboarding, rock and roll, and making Goldie run for mayor, he also invented science fiction.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Good.
Talk about not messing with the timelines, but really messing with the timelines of shit.
Well, and also that nobody actually had to be a creative genius because they all got the ideas from the future. So we're outside the diner and he's like, just go talk to her, say whatever's natural. Nothing's coming to his mind. He says, well, just say,
Destiny brought you together. Tell her that she is the most beautiful girl you've ever seen in the world. Girls like that stuff. What are you doing, George?
I'm writing this down. This is good stuff.
Yeah.
and then he goes in.
Give me a milk. Chocolate.
I mean,
Lou is
ready.
fast.
He came to play.
The slide down, the grab, full. It's like a full gunslinger sort of feel. The wipe of the mouth.
Out of nowhere, he's cool.
I mean, I don't know if he's cool, but
for
there's
him,
a lot of stuff.
John Rocha. He got some chocolate milk. He just got cool.
It's the wipe. It's the wipe.
It's
That's
the wipe.
cool.
Yeah.
We gonna do this.
Oh, it's so good. He goes up to her and says,
My density has brought me to you.
Wait a minute. Don't I know you from somewhere?
Yes. I'm George. George McFly. I'm your density.
and she kind of likes him a little bit. Yeah. There's a little bit of a nice look from her. And then,
Hey, McFly!
great reaction from Marty and from Biff. And Biff asks for money, and as he's walking up, Marty trips him.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's an interesting moment, man.
And then we do the stand-up, but this time the camera is lower so that Biff obscures Marty. And we do a gag that we see, which is the, hey, look over there. Hey, what's that? And then punches Biff and then runs, and we're outside. And there's these kids that have these wooden box with boards with wheels on the bottom. Takes it, knocks the top off it, and he's on a skateboard.
And so, two things I want to say here. One, this score to this movie is amazing. This is
so great.
There's 1,000 times in this movie to bring up the score, but this is like a really good one.
Literally in my notes to bring it up here.
Also, everybody go to YouTube, and what is that guy who did the whole thing a cappella? They take this scene on YouTube, and it's the guy, and it's the entire piece of music, but he's like, boom, 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 boom.
I will put it on our Facebook page. But you said there were two things. Oh, those were the two
It was
things.
the two things. One, just in general, is Alan Silvestri's score is one of the best scores in the history of movie scores, one of the best iconic themes, but also throughout the entire movie, and just the repetitiveness of the motifs. And this is one of those great moments where it's a great action sequence, it's a great chase sequence, everything is awesome, but the music adds 1,000% to it.
So one of the interesting things about this sequence is that it was shot over a fair period of time. Is that, and again, this goes to sort of what we've been saying a lot, which is that you actually don't come up with all the great ideas all at once. So they shot it and they start editing it. And in editing, there was one moment where one of the wheels sparked, and Zemeckis went, that wheel spark is great. Let's go back, and they shot all these pickups. So all the wheel sparks are pickups. And then they start editing that, and there's like, oh, we really need a shot of this. And they kept going back, editing, reshooting pickups, editing, reshooting pickups. And it was like a 6-week process to make this sequence. Wow. And it is a great, fantastic sequence. Is that, he gets behind a truck and they come after, they jump in their car, they drive across the
lawn.
The lawn. Again, the 50s apparently were different.
It was the Wild West.
Almost crush him against the car that he's hanging on to. He gets around to the side, jumps over something, crashes into some people. They come after him again, and now they're literally pushing him with the car, and he's holding it. And this is Michael J. Fox for some of it. He does know how to ride a skateboard. He is doing some of it. And then you get to this moment where he looks behind him. There's the manure truck behind him.
Well, they're also chucking beer bottles at him.
Oh, and they're chucking beer bottles at him.
I mean, these were delinquents.
Yeah.
I mean, they would have killed him.
And I mean, literally, you're being pushed by a car into something like you're gonna die. And he climbs up over the car, runs through it, jumps on the other side, lands on that skateboard.
I mean, and I do remember being a kid and watching that moment and just going, I've seen the number of movies that I had seen at that age, or whatever they were. That was the greatest, coolest, most amazing, awesome thing I had ever seen in a movie. It was amazing.
That is an Indiana Jones style escape.
Just gonna say that those two moments, the Indiana Jones thing in Raiders of the Lost Ark, and this moment are my two favorite. Like, kind of how the hell are they gonna get out of this situation moments in the 80s is incredible, incredible,
and it's pulled off in a way that, of course, it's probably impossible, but seems really real.
Yeah.
Like you really go like. He just did that. Marty McFly is a full hero in this moment.
Yeah.
And they yell shit and they go into the big manure truck. Right. A gag that gets repeated over and over again.
Starts the gag of Biff getting covered in shit for years to come.
Thomas F. Wilson, great.
And who else sees that Marty McFly is a full hero?
Fucking Lorraine.
Lorraine.
Oh, and the take of George McClung walking away.
Yep.
Like, just defeated.
Yeah.
Oh, heartbreaking.
Even when he's trying not to do it, he can't help himself in the situation.
He can't help himself.
Right, because he could have totally just taken the hit for his dad, but he couldn't help himself. I bet Lorraine's dad was watching this going, that's not how you hit kids.
I'll show you how to hit kids.
There's a cut scene where he wants to go to bed. You did it all wrong, son.
But as we're talking about it, I mean, it's one of those things that I think that the movie does really well, and kind of like in that life lesson kind of thing, because you're talking about George McFly. It's like George McFly's problem is clearly not that he doesn't have a hero in him, and like you said, the second that he goes up to Lorraine, even though he fucks it up,
right,
she kind of responds. Like it's not that there's something inherently wrong with him. It's just that he's not putting himself out there, which really is a good life lesson. Hey, everybody out there, put yourself out there, take the risk, take the chance. It'll be great.
The more you know.
Dun 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 dun.
So
this one.
If Biff had not shown up in the diner at that moment, I think that George and Lorraine would have ended up together.
Maybe.
And I think their life would have been in the middle between the loser life that we saw at the movie and the winner life we see at the end of this movie. They would have had it in between, because George had a little bit to ask her out, but not he didn't become a full hero at all.
Right.
To have the full winner life, we have to have him become a full hero. Right now, we're back at Doc's, and Doc is watching that videotape with the Libyans again, and then just kind of goes, "Oh, it's a really interesting technology." And Marty goes, "This is the first time we have hey, there's something I should tell you." And Doc goes,
"No man should know too much about his own destiny."
You don't understand.
I do understand. If I know too much about my own future, I can endanger my own existence, just as you've endangered yours.
And then he goes, "Let me show you this model."
Please excuse the crudity of this model. I didn't have time to build it to scale or to paint it.
Oh my God, it's so good.
That's a perfect visual joke.
Yeah.
And he's showing everything that's going to happen. We got the clock tower. We got a wire going down. There's a hook on the DeLorean, which he has a little wind-up car. He's here, you take this, and I'm going to be the lightning. And he's got some big, clamps from his, jumper cable things. And he puts one on the clock tower, and he goes, "Okay, ready, set,
release."
And Marty releases the car, and he sparks the thing, and there's a shock that hits the car that bursts into flames, that flies off the table, runs into a pile of rags, and creates a fire. And Doc Brown's reaction to the fire, there's just a
vintage Christopher Lloyd.
Great. And, and of course, Marty's reaction is, "Wait, that's me. This is not..." And then knock, knock, knock. Your mom is at the door.
All right.
I mean, she She is tenacious.
She knows what she wants.
Oh yeah.
And I suggest you watch this scene and
Just for Christopher Lloyd.
Just watch Christopher Lloyd.
Don't look at them at all. Just
Yeah.
look at Christopher
Oh,
Lloyd
yeah.
the entire time,
He
and
is
it's
so funny.
amazing.
It's so
Faces are the best.
because I don't think he fully comprehended the degree to which mom was into her.
Yeah. Right. Exactly.
And she's just going, he's trying to play up George. She's like, oh, George, he's cute and all, but I think a man should be strong. And there's just this great, at the ends of this great 2-shot of her and Marty with Doc in the background, and she's kind of moving forward. It's great. We're back with George, and he's still asking, like, how are we going to make this work? And Marty has a plan, which is basically, I'm gonna get handsy with my mom.
Get handsy with mom. I mean, like it's a horrible, upsetting plan.
And she's going to resist. He's dependent upon, despite everything he's
Which,
seen.
yeah, like at no point in this movie should you think she's gonna say no to this.
It's true.
But deep down, he still has the image of his mom as she was raised a nun. So that's who his mom is. So clearly she's going to resist.
But like, and yes, but like if you really think about it, like given everything he knows, I can buy the whole like, well, she talks a big game, but at the end of the day, my mom really was basically a nun.
Right. His line is, she'll get angry. Nice girls get angry when boys take advantage.
Which the great visual gag of him, you're going to touch her on, and he's holding the bra.
Holding the bra. Perfect.
But like, that means he has to like push the envelope with mom to the point that she's gonna say this is too far, and like,
which means he's gonna have to put his hands on his mom.
There was a collective shudder in the room.
Right. No, I mean, well, don't forget he's 16. This is the logic of a 16-year-old, right?
Well, and the fact that, to put it frankly, Lea Thompson's cute.
Yeah.
That makes this all so much more troubling.
It is. That's why I think when I saw it the first time, I never had any kind of feeling about it being incestuous or anything like that. I just found the humor. It was funny. It isn't until later when people put that idea in your head or you figure it out watching, you're like,
again, this is the
weird.
brilliance of Michael J. Fox and the brilliance of the movie and everything, which is as now, like having watched this movie a bajillion times and we can talk about it. But again, hashtag in defense of Eric Stoltz.
Yeah, you're right. Right.
I mean,
I've got to try to rape my mom. I got to rape my mom. This is a very serious film, man.
Eric Stoltz, like, guys, the studios are doing some really avant-garde
This is
stuff.
some shit. I thought The Mask was pushing the. This is really pushing the envelope. Holy shit!
Oh, Rocky.
So.
Can you imagine the meeting with him and Spielberg? And Spielberg's like wide-eyed, just can't even respond as Eric walks out of the room. He does not get the movie at all.
So and George kind of goes, I wish I wasn't so scared. And Marty gives him some advice. It's like, if you put your mind to it, you can accomplish anything. In the first version of the script, in this scene, George is hitting a heavy bag, and he doesn't have much of a right, but he has a really powerful left.
Oh, so they lay in the groundwork.
And the idea was that he was actually a lefty that had been turned into a righty, because sometimes they would do that. My grandmother, they made her right-handed, even though she was left-handed. And that in the redone 1985 world, he was a prize fighter.
Oh.
Yeah.
So that's a good example, though, of one of those things where it's like you said, like that is a setup and a payoff.
Everything is logical.
Everything
about
is logical. It all makes sense. But that's one of those things that like you get to a point, and this is where you have really good friends or a good writing partner or a good producer, somebody that sits down with you and go, this all makes sense. This tracks. You don't need, like, I'm a big fan of all this. You don't need it. All you need is that he hits Biff.
Well, and the other thing about it too is, and I wonder when the change happened. I don't know at all, but I wonder, because you look at Crispin Glover and you go, nope, not going to be a prize fighter.
Yeah,
no, that doesn't work. Science fiction writer. And then when you go science fiction writer, now you've connected to all this other stuff, including Marty as a musician, and including like the whole world that we're in, and you get the Darth Vader joke and all those other things. So like the it does track, and then, oh no, this is better. And again, that's why writing is a process. It's that night. We're at the clock tower. The weather is not looking like there's going to be thunder. And the weatherman says, no, it's not going to be thunder. And Marty's pretty confident about what's going to happen. And Doc says, I can't believe I have to wait 30 years before talking about what happened. And again, Marty tries to tell him.
Doc, about the future.
No! Marty! We've already agreed that having information about the future can be extremely dangerous. Even if your intentions are good, it can backfire drastically. Whatever you've got to tell me, I'll find out through the natural course of time.
We cut to Marty writing him a letter, basically saying, this is what's going to happen. And on the envelope, it says, don't open for 30 years. Or don't open until 1985. Back with Doc, there's a cop that asks him, do you have a permit for this? He goes, oh, yeah, I have a permit. And we see Marty slip that letter into the pocket of Doc's jacket. And we go to the dance where Marvin Berry and the Starlighters are playing. Man, they have nice decorations at their dance.
Yeah.
That Enchantment Under the Sea dance.
That was lovely.
That is what you want every school dance to look like.
That is romantic. I mean, I can see.
Fall in love.
Totally. Absolutely.
Dare I say it's enchanting.
Crispin is dancing alone.
Under the sea.
There it is. Oh, boy.
And we cut to the parking lot where Marty pulls up in a beautiful car and is sitting with his mom and asks, do you mind if we park a while? And she goes, oh,
whose car is that?
Idea. I think that's...
Is it Doc's car?
I think it's Mr. Miyagi's
Mr. Miyagi's car. That's what I was going to say.
Car.
I actually wonder if it is the same car.
That's the universe. It's got to be.
This car gets sold
to Mr. Miyagi.
To Mr. Miyagi, who restores it.
On to Machio.
And she says, do you mind if we park? And she says, I think parking's a great idea.
Man.
And there's a reaction.
Marty, I'm almost 18 years old. It's not like I've never parked before.
Yikes.
She asks if something's wrong. He goes, no. And then she pulls out a flask. Drinks some booze.
And Lorraine
is good to go.
Lorraine's got a problem.
Marty's about to get out-raped by Lorraine. I shouldn't make these rape jokes, but it feels like she's about to take control of the situation and rape.
She has an agenda.
Yeah, she does.
And when Marty takes the booze from her and takes a little sip, she lights a cigarette and he sprays the car.
Yeah, right.
It's a good spit take.
Yeah.
It's just all set up so good, and the payoff is so great. I mean, she's just smoking, drinking, ready to play.
He goes, you smoke too? And she says, you're beginning to sound like my mother.
One of us does.
And there's a look, and we're back with Crispin Glover, who looks up at the clock, and we realize, oh, he's late. Dude, you had one job. Yeah. You have one job, you're showing up late. And now Leah's back in the car, and she takes off her little wrap or whatever. She looks gorgeous. Mm-hmm. And Marty says,
have you ever been in a situation where you knew you had to act a certain way, but when you got there, you didn't know if you could go through with it?
And her response is yes, but then that's when I just do whatever I feel. And she goes in for that kiss.
This is what's great about the movie. She goes in, whole thing's being laid out for her to go after him and get on top of him and get what she wants from him physically. She kisses him, and the twist
immediately
is that no spark at all, and
her eyes are
wrong.
open.
Yes, and that's such a
instant.
brilliant thing.
Yeah.
And she comes back and she says,
this is all wrong. I don't know what it is, but when I kiss you, it's like I'm kissing my brother.
Yeah. And that's where this movie actually pulls itself away from being super creepy, is because they actually have this underlying thing that is it goes all the way right up to the edge, and then it says there's an underlying thing where there is something that you instinctually know that you wouldn't do this.
Yeah.
This is what they say. They say this is the line that saved the movie.
I would agree with that.
They say without this line, this movie actually doesn't, no matter how good it is this is a line where you go, okay, I'm okay. Yeah. I'm okay with what just happened. Because if she liked kissing him, this is a whole other movie.
Yeah. They didn't go full Lannister.
They didn't go full Lannister.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
And by the way, the look on Michael J. Fox's face as after the kiss is so scared and so perfect and so funny. Is really, really good. And right as we're in this moment, what happens? The door opens up, and we expect that that's going to be George McFly.
Right.
But it's Biff.
You caused $300 damage to my car, you son of a bitch. And I'm going to take it out of your ass.
And this gets scary because he notices her, and he notices basically her cleavage. And she notices him noticing her, and it is a scary, creepy moment. And he pushes Marty to the three guys and says, take him away. I'm going to deal with this. And he jumps in the car with her, and they're standing there watching.
Yeah.
Like they're going to watch this rape.
Yeah.
It gets like watching it, like just like as I was rewatching it for this, like it gets like
real scary.
It's scary, uncomfortable. Like it's like, ooh, this really went there.
Stoltz is like, see?
Yep.
Somewhere Stoltz is like, I was right.
I was right the whole time.
They
This is a creepy scene.
They drag Marty away. They throw him in the trunk of the car, and it's the band's car. And out comes Marvin Berry and the other band members. And they go, "What are you doing with that car?" And they say a not nice slur. And
They don't say the worst one, but they say the other one that they got
say
away
it's
with.
pretty bad one.
Close enough.
And the other band members get out, and those guys scatter. Yeah.
I don't want to mess with any reefer addicts.
Reefer addicts.
And Marty's banging on the inside of the trunk, and they go, "Where are the keys?" And the keys, of course, are in with Marty. Back.
I guess that's what happened when you get high. You throw your keys in an open trunk.
Have you ever hung out with reefer addicts?
I haven't.
It's rough stuff. George walks out. He sees the tussling going on in the car. This is what he's ready for. He walks up fairly confident.
Hey, you, get your damn hands off.
And then he sees Biff.
Oh.
Lorraine's face, Lea Thompson's face here.
It's great.
I bet any woman who's ever experienced this situation in real life sees that face and knows that face that they've had on their person in this situation. It is the one moment in this movie that you're like, fuck, this is some serious shit going on here. Like everything else,
Eric
funny,
Stoltz level serious.
Yeah, Eric Stoltz level serious.
It is.
Everything else is like little, like kind of a little bit softer type approach to things. But that moment, you actually fear for her, and you feel helpless as a viewer of the film
and
about what's about to happen.
The look is great, but then also it's just like, because
Biff's
like when
look,
she
too.
says,
Yeah.
Biff basically says, "Turn around, McFly, get out," and like for all evidence is George McFly will turn around. Like Biff.
Well,
is,
she says, "George, help me."
And then
She says, "George,"
and then she says, "George, help me." And it is like it's real. Like, I was like,
Yeah, man, shit got real.
And he doesn't go.
No, Biff. You leave her alone.
And Biff gets out.
You're asking for it. And now you're going to get it.
And George punches him, or tries to. Does not go well.
No.
Twists the arm behind the back. Back with Marty and the band. They get the trunk over him, but Marvin slices his hand.
Ooh.
Marty runs to help. Back to Biff. She's jumped on top of him to fight him. He pushes her away. He's laughing. I mean, it is a brutal, scary scene.
He's pretty evil.
And we see that hand close into the fist. And it's so funny because you know you're in a movie. You kind of know what's going to happen. You know that, and yet it is so satisfying.
It is.
When he throws that punch, it spins Biff around and knocks him out. It is one of the great punches in movies.
Yeah, the McFly men can pack a punch. even in the diner, that one punch that Michael J. Fox gives Biff, I mean, knocks him down. It hits the ground.
Yeah.
But you're right. It is such a satisfying, perfect movie moment. It's like what a movie. I like a great movie moment is when something happens that completely blindsides you. That's awesome.
Yeah.
But a really great moment is when you know what's gonna happen and it happens, and you're still like, yes, like it's perfect.
Yeah,
totally.
And I would argue that going so super serious in this moment helps that
Oh, for
moment
sure.
to
Absolutely.
sell. Because if it had a little bit of comedy, it wouldn't have felt as strong of an empowering moment for George. So
Biff-
it's a chance they took, and it paid
Biff
off.
Biff is kind of a over the top, ridiculous bully for 95% of Back to the Future.
Yeah.
But for this one moment, he becomes so scary and so real. And then that is what makes the payoff so great.
And Marty sees it from a distance and he runs up. And Lorraine's not looking at Marty anymore. She's just got eyes for George.
I would marry George McFly after that. Like, it is amazing.
I still not sure that that's a guy I want to be married to. It ends up a lot better.
I tell you what, in that moment, I'm like, George looking hot.
Are you okay?
She nods and they make eye contact and they head off into the dance.
When he puts out his hand for her, that's so fantastic.
Yeah.
Guys, I'm getting hot in here.
And then someone says,
hot for hashtag
someone
hot for
says,
George.
"Who is that?" And someone else says, "It's George
That's the
McFly."
best. Like, who is that guy?
It's George McFly.
And I think we're all good, except he takes out the picture and now the sister is disappearing. Why? Because they still haven't had the kiss. We got to have the kiss. And so he runs up to the band and says, "You got to get in there and play." He's like, "You got to finish the dance." He's like, "Dance is over. Unless you can find someone who plays guitar."
Oh my God, payoff time. And again, it's just like Marty McFly wants to play the school dance.
Yep.
Marty McFly plays the school dance.
Cut to him looking fairly stone-faced playing Earth Angel.
You're going to say stoned. I was like, well, reefer.
maybe he got to hit a reefer. He looks down at the photo on the neck of his guitar and sees they're continuing to disappear. By the way, in order to do that, they had to build a giant guitar neck and blow up a giant picture in order to make this shot work. Some weird things you do in filmmaking. And George and Lorraine are dancing, and she says, "Aren't you going to kiss me?" And he goes, "I don't know." And as he's making the decision, in comes a horrible asshole.
I mean, horrible guy.
A horrible ginger.
Let me cut in.
Horrible
Gingers, man.
Hey.
No offense.
And George gets pulled away, and as he does, the guitar goes bad. And I love the way this is constructed. I think it's really beautifully done. We have problems with the guitar, and then he can't play, and then he falls down, and Lorraine is calling to him, and it's all getting sort of echoey and weird. And I mean, who is this guy that's like driving,
cackling
out of nowhere,
laughing, and she's going, "George, George."
It's so silly. Like, it's so ridiculous. I mean, that guy's horrible, and the way he's laughing is, but you're just like,
we already escaped
who
the rapist.
is this guy?
This is a guy that's been following them the whole time. In this
Because he's not even like
he's been waiting for the moment.
Forget like the fact that he's just there as the obstacle for the moment. But like, and really, this guy's like, hey, you know what I think would be a good idea? I'm gonna go grab this girl from this guy, pull her away, and as she's trying to get away, I'm just gonna cackle.
And Marty looks up at his hand, which is now begin to go transparent. Yeah. Which I think, by the way, is the one effect in the movie that they felt they never really got well. They didn't think it was a great effect. And then back comes George McFly. This is the bigger transition than I think the Punch.
Agreed.
It is. Because now he's full confident, you know?
He actually, because, and I think it is a really important moment, because what George McFly does to Biff, he does out of not necessity. He could have walked away. Like, he stays for Lorraine, he defends Lorraine, but he's in a moment where he's either going to get his arm broken or he's not, and he does the thing, and it's great. But this is the moment where, with no Marty, no Darth Vader from Vulcan, no anybody else, he has now learned the behavior of, no, I'm going to go do this.
Right.
Like, it's now like he did that one thing, you're like, that was the great moment, but now you get, oh, this is going to stick.
Yeah.
He's made a life change at this point.
And he takes her in his arms and he kisses her, and Marty just pops back up.
Earth Angel.
Right back to playing Earth Angel. And gives a little salute. And I think we're done. We solved all our problems. Now we just got to go forward in time. But the band wants to do one more song, something that really cooks.
I mean, this is just pure, like, this is the icing on the cake moment of a movie. You're like, we could have just run out and gone home and I would have been satisfied, but man, this is just the best.
All right, this is an oldie, but well, it's an oldie where I come from.
And he gives some quick instructions, like, to the band, like,
all right, guys, listen, this is the blues riff and B. Watch me for the changes and try and keep up, okay?
And goes into Johnny Be Good. You're not a fan.
No, it's the worst version of Johnny Be Good I've ever heard. And what it leads to is complete and utter bullshit that a white man created rock and roll. It's fucking bullshit. So anyway, go ahead.
So
fair.
that point has been
Fair.
made. That's definitely, yes.
Yeah.
Fair. I totally say that's fair.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, 7-year-old Michael watching Michael J. Fox play guitar and sing Johnny Be Good, I thought was amazing.
But once again, you said it in the first part, the casual, soft race.
No, you're right. Absolutely.
And it is a little bit here. It's a funny moment. Look, I'm not taking anything with a funny moment. It's certainly a funny moment. But, you know, the connotation is there
100%.
in 2019.
100% agree.
But I still think it's
because what we go to is Marvin Berry going backstage, and that's a lot of setup to, like, why is he named Marvin Berry? To go backstage and say, hello, Chuck, it's Marvin. Your cousin Marvin Berry. I love that he says his last name. Remember, you were listening for that new sound?
Like,
here
Marvin
it is.
Who? Who is this?
What also is weird?
The reefer addict.
What's
my
weird?
reefer addict cousin. I can't have you on the phone.
So he's doing Johnny Be Good, but what's weird to me is when he holds out the phone, he's stopped doing Johnny Be
he's
Good.
not
Now he's
at
doing
all.
Pete Townsend and Hendrix and doing all these. You know, he kind of does a pastiche of bad boy guitar rock for the next couple of decades. And it's great to watch the crowd and the band that was all into him before turn, and then they stop playing and people stop dancing, and then he does the on the knees complete insanity and looks out at the silent crowd and says,
I guess you guys aren't ready for that yet, but your kids are gonna love it.
And again, I think the thing that's kind of interesting about that, just from a like I love the idea that you didn't do that thing where he did the thing. He got what he wanted. He got his desire. Right. He got to perform on stage. And everybody was into it. But I actually do like the fact that they went a little bit further to the point where everybody wasn't with him anymore, because it's not important that he was a huge success. Yeah. It was just important that he did it.
Right.
Like that you put yourself out there.
Right. And he has a little goodbye with Lorraine and George where she's like, I'm going to stay with George tonight. Is that okay? Yeah, that's fine. Oh, and by the way, if you ever have kids and your 8-year-old burns a hole in the rug, go easy on him. When I was 8-year-old, I burned a hole in my parents' rug.
Wow.
True story.
So basically, you burned a hole in your parents' rug. Yes. Your house is Doc Brown's house. Like, what are you trying to tell us here, Steve?
Right?
What's going on?
I'm Eric Stoltz.
I know it.
And as we leave,
I brought you all here today to talk about Back to the Future, and then you just rip off your mask.
My mask. And as they leave, Lorraine goes, Marty, what a nice name. But you didn't name your first son after this guy.
Right.
You named your third child after this guy. And we're back to the clock. This is just great. Christopher Lloyd steps in a frame, looks at his watch. Damn. Steps in a frame, looks at his pocket watch. Damn. And then takes another turn, looks at a different watch. That's some good silliness. Marty pulls up.
The old man really came through. It worked. He laid out Biff in one punch. I didn't know he had an enemy. He's never stood up to Biff in his life.
Doc kind of goes,
Never?
It's
a great moment where you're just like, Doc understands what this means. It's like, oh well, we didn't fix the timeline. We didn't set the timeline back to neutral.
No, yeah, something has changed. But there's no time to deal with it now. And he goes like, oh, I've calculated the exact distance. You're going to do this. You're going to do this. It's going to be all fine. And he puts the alarm in the car and they have a hug and they say goodbye. There's just a great look I don't think Doc has hugged people. Like, I think there's sort of a reaction there that's really nice. And he says, don't worry, as long as you hit that wire at exactly 88 miles an hour, the instant the lightning hits the tower, everything will be fine, which, by the way, seems hard. And then he finds the note and he freaks out, because it's about the future. The consequences could be disastrous.
That's a risk you're gonna have to take. Your life depends on it.
No! I refuse to accept the responsibility.
In that case, I'll tell you straight out.
And just as he starts to tell him, a tree falls on that wire and breaks it. I love the way, and now we do have a great Scott.
Great Scott!
I love the way we're building. They're building to this climax so beautifully. There's so much stuff going on. And they go, okay, you're going to tie this to a rope, and I'm going to go up the stairs. So Doc goes up the stairs, up to the clock tower. We go past the gears that are moving. He comes out on the ledge. And by the way, the two panthers or whatever, they are statues from the movie Cat People.
Oh, wow.
Oh.
Yeah. Which I haven't seen since 1985 or 6.
Also, I just want to say every time that we go see a movie at the Grove, the big shopping center here in Los Angeles, and we walk out late at night after the Grove is sort of closed, but the movies are still out. Every time, for all the hundreds of movies we've seen over the years, I always think of this scene because the Grove. I'm convinced that the Grove was basically built,
a little bit
with
of
Hill Valley in mind. Like if you go to the Grove with the fountain and the little garden green square area and the way the stores are all, and then you have above the Nike store the clock. It is 100%, and not necessarily during the day when everyone's crowded in there, but when you come out at night and it's dark, and I just literally am like, I feel like Doc Brown should be up there right now, tugging on some wire.
So the wide shots, they're mostly are Chris Lloyd, and he's up on that actual clock tower with a cable around his waist, so he's tied in, but still really scary because there's huge wind machines going on. One of them, which is called the McBride, which apparently is the world's most powerful wind machine, which is huge jet engine on a big cherry picker that they could just move around and just blast massive winds. So that was really scary. But when you're in close-ups, they're on stage 12 at Universal. They've just rebuilt that entire set exactly like that. And he throws the rope down and Marty ties it to the cable and Doc pulls it up. And Marty is trying to tell him about the future, but it's too loud and Doc can't hear it. And then finally it's like, look, it's time. The clock is moving. We've reached, is it 1 a.m.? Is that what time it is? No, I don't remember. I should know.
So,
and he goes, you got to go. And so finally Marty gets in the DeLorean and drives away. And he does slide across the hood of the car before getting in because
obviously
you got to do a little bit that cool move. And Marty gets off to where it says there's a line on the ground that says start here. And this, by the way, this is a master class of editing and intercutting. And this was about a month to edit this sequence.
Wow.
I mean, it's just so tight in how they're going back and forth and when they're going back and forth. Marty gets out of the car, he sets up the hook and is saying, why did you have to tear up that letter? If only I had more time.
Wait a minute.
Wait a minute.
Time machine.
I'm in a time machine. And then he sets it forward just 10 minutes. I'm like, maybe you give yourself a little more time, dude.
Like, give yourself a day, bro.
And he looks around, okay, he does his check.
Time circuit's on, flux capacitor, fluxing, engine running. All right.
Engine dies. Because we got to just add a little bit more to the tension. And Doc kind of sees the plug and he climbs around the narrow edge of the thing, which breaks as lightning strikes. When he falls, the cable is now stuck on his pants leg that he somehow has to lift up to get up to the other cable. Marty's trying to start the car. The lights are flickering. Doc is hanging and reaching for that one cable. Still can't quite reach it. He has both of the plugs in his hands. He's pulling them together and they don't quite reach because the cable is still under that tree.
Here we go. This time, come on.
Marty, in desperation, hits the wheel with his head and the car starts. Isn't that nice? Marty's driving. Doc is pulling and pulling, trying to get the plug to reach, and of course he pulls the plug off the bottom. One more problem. Doc looks up at the clock and it moves, and we're now like a minute away from this whole thing. And by the way, one of the things about this kind of a scene is if you have a clock and you have this much time, you kind of have to be pretty close to doing it in that amount of time. You can't mess with the time that much. And when you're shooting it, you have to think about exactly where is the clock at this moment and continue, okay, bring the clock back a minute. Okay, shoot this. It has to all make sense. You can't mess it up too much because everyone's looking at that time. The camera pushes in on Marty as he's driving, and this is where we're in that third DeLorean that's been cut to pieces. These are all process shots, so he's not really driving. He's got rear projection going behind the screen. Doc sees the lightning. He sees the car coming. He finally has an idea. He connects the cable. Marty shifts gears. Doc loops some metal cable around the clock, and he slides down that cable, frees the plug. The car hits 87 miles an hour. Doc runs to the drop cable, plugs them together just as the lightning hit. Boom, the car hits the thing. Doc is thrown back, and the car disappears. That is a perfect sequence.
Steve, that was almost as exciting as seeing it the first time.
Wow. Wow. Well, thank you. I don't think it was. Certainly not for me. And I love Christopher Lloyd in this moment.
That cheer. The
cheer and the little dance. Yeah. And the camera comes down as he walks forward, and there's all the fire everywhere from what has just happened. It's awesome. And then we cut to the clock tower, thinking we're still in 1955, and the helicopter comes out from behind, and we realize we're back to the future.
Yeah.
And there's Marty McFly, and there's like a homeless guy who's an actor I've seen in all sorts of stuff. I don't know who it is. And he looks around, sees the porn theater and all the other stuff. He goes, oh, good, I'm back home.
Oh, good, I'm back in my shitty timeline.
And then sees the Libyans drive by and goes, no, not again. Jumps in the car. Of course, car won't start. So he runs after them. He gets to the Lone Pine Mall.
Which is like, that's one of those little things that like, it's never, that's a great joke that's just never mentioned. It's just there. Like, it's never, like, the payoff is so little, and in all the other things you do, you might not notice, but like, it's one of my favorite things.
And he gets there just in time to watch Doc Brown get killed again. So maybe should have given yourself a few more minutes, Marty. And sees himself scream, sees himself gets chased, sees the DeLorean disappears, sees the Libyans in the VW bus crash into the photomat booth or whatever it is, and he runs up to Doc, turns him over, and as he's crying over Doc, Christopher Lloyd blinks his eyes and looks up and sits up behind Marty.
You're alive.
And he unzips his, suit to reveal that bulletproof vest. How did you know? I never got a chance to tell you.
So tricky, Doc. You're tricky.
And he pulls out the letter, and it's all taped together.
What about all that talk about screwing up future events, the space-time continuum?
Well, I figured. What the hell?
Which I love. It's real scientific.
They drive back to Marty's house. We ask, how far in the future are you going to go? And he goes, 30 years. He says, look me up when I get there. And he agrees and says, be careful on the re-entry. It can be a little bumpy. And I love that he pulls away and then goes out of frame and then drives past. And then we just see some lights and hear that he's doing it. And that is a case of they were out of money. But it's really better, and they think it's better too, to not see it. But really, it was just that effect would cost money, and just having some lights and sound, that's free or cheap. And Marty goes in through the gate, and it's the next morning. He wakes up, still sleeping in his clothes, and he walks into his house. And I think we see it before he sees it. Little hints of wait, what's going on here? And there he sees his brother and sister, brother in a suit, sister looking really nice. And he's going, what's happening here? And they're like, breakfast? It's called breakfast.
Let's talk about healthy eating habits in the McFly house. I think in the beginning scene, literally George McFly is pouring himself a bowl of fiddle faddle or something.
Peanut brittle.
It's so gross.
There's a deleted scene where a kid convinces, selling peanut brittle to raise money, convinced George McFly to buy a whole case of peanut brittle. That's why he's having it for dinner.
Oh my God. Probably good they cut that. But they got the little grapefruit, they got everything good, and then it's just it's the payoff of all the stuff, because the brother is telling the sister, he's like, oh, I can't keep all the guys you're dating straight, so clearly that's going well. He's got the suit on, it's lovely.
And then right at that moment, in walks Mom and Dad from their tennis game, and Mom is thin and Dad looks suave. Here's what I find interesting: we know that Dad had greasy hair, and I think his son said, hey, try to change the oil, Dad, in the original version. Now he has gray hair. So George McFly in the first universe was dyeing his hair,
right,
and oiling it,
right,
and now he looks great. And Marty's just trying to keep up with all this and says something about the car getting wrecked, and they're like, "What? You wrecked a car?" They look outside.
It's why am I the last to know about? Even when they're upset, they're happy. It's the weirdest thing.
It's very. Someone said, by the way, a criticism of this movie, which I think is silly, is that this was the ultimate '80s. Materialistic thing because it's happy that they're now rich, and I'm like, I think that's
what's your fucking problem. Being rich is a good thing.
I think not being the lives that they were living before, certainly they've improved here. And who is out waxing that car? Biff.
And also, I think it's not so much that they have money, it's that they are successful at their lives.
And they're loving with each other.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
They seem happy.
Yeah, money is money. It's what you do with it that matters, and they seem like they're building a nice, happy home.
Oh, and we also...
Although they all still live at home, which is a little weird, but okay, go ahead.
And we also get into the thing where Mom's saying, hey, Jennifer called. Aren't you heading out to the lake and going on this? He's like, no, I'm not doing that. She's like, yeah, you are. You've been planning this for a long time. So Mom is no longer the nun that she was in the other reality.
All about the premarital sex.
Apparently.
Yeah. Or trusting her children. Yeah, sure.
Wait, but do you think that she didn't have premarital sex with George McFly in the alternate reality? I think she did.
Absolutely.
I would have said she did, yeah. But
in the alternate reality, yeah, I guess so.
Well, I think she did in both realities.
But you're saying she's just okay with her son doing it.
Yeah,
yes.
Right. With her teenage son.
Yes.
She gives him a very knowing glance.
Yeah. And we go out and we see Biff,
Sex
who's
positive
waxing.
family, guys. It's sex positive family.
Positive.
We see Biff waxing the car, and he has become full Ned Beatty from Superman at this point. He's a full toady. He's George McFly's
I'm almost done, Mr. McFly.
Yes, Mr. McFly. Yes, Mr. Luthor.
Isn't he in a big green jumpsuit as well?
Yeah.
I mean, the ugliest thing.
Biff spill. Biff spill.
Which, watching it this time, I was like, wait, the guy who attempted to rape your wife, you now have in your employ is a weird. It's weird. But it does satisfy the everything has turned around thing. And Biff comes in, as we said before, with the new book, which it says Match Made in
Space, I think.
Yeah.
Is the name of the book?
With the Marty's outfit.
The containment suit.
Yeah, the containment suit.
It's probably Scheinberg's suggestion for that.
Ghost.
That should have been Spaceman from Pluto.
It should have been Spaceman from Pluto. Oh my God. Oh, that'd be so great.
Funny.
He goes outside and there's Jennifer and he's so happy to see her. She's like, looks like you haven't seen me in a week. He's like, I haven't. And then she goes, well, is everything all right? And he looks back at his parents and he goes,
Oh, yeah. Everything is great.
here's my question about this. So, the two kids, the two brother and sister, they were kind of messed up. They were raised by these, dysfunctional parents. Mom's an alcoholic, dad's a complete, mess. And because of that, they, he worked at the fast food place and she had boyfriend stuff and that they were messed up. And now that they were raised by more functional parents, they're, happier, more stable. Marty, that is here, he was still raised by the fucked up parents.
Right.
So does he even, they could say to him, hey, you remember that trip to Mexico when you were in junior high? No. Do you remember when dad practiced baseball with you? No. Like, I remember mom being drunk and dad running away. Like he doesn't have the benefit of being raised by these nice parents that his brother and sister have.
What does it lead to? That's the question.
Which we never deal with because in the sequels, we spend no time here at all.
Right.
You're deeply contemplating this, it looks like.
I am. I'm actually just trying to think about like the theoretical how it work if you go back in time and you alter your timeline, when you return to your timeline, would you change or not? And
in this case, he clearly hasn't.
But I think in any case that we ever see from an entertainment standpoint, that's not the case because we are always with the character's perspective.
Right.
Like we are always with the character that is traveling through time. But it's an interesting, technically, I think I've seen versions where, is it in Days of Future Past or something? It's like where you eventually start to remember your other.
Yeah, I think so.
I feel like frequency. You start to remember both. You start to remember both memories.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, but we don't go into that because just as he's saying everything's okay, who comes back but Doc Brown in the DeLorean, who has another entrance getting out of that car with that jacket and those glasses, which, by the way, were entirely opaque. He could see nothing through those glasses because they're just pieces of metal. Yeah. And he says, you got to come with me.
Marty! You've got to come back with me!
Where?
Back to the future!
He goes, what, are we messed up in the future? It's like, no, you two are great. It's your kids.
Yeah.
And he goes, grabs some garbage, puts it into the Mr. Fusion, which is a fantastic joke. And we say, no, we don't need plutonium anymore because we have this. And we get back in the car and start to pull back. And Marty goes, well, shouldn't you back up farther? We're going to need more road.
Fucking great ending. Fucking great.
You want to say it?
Roads? Well, we're going, we don't need roads.
Bum, bum, bum. And that flies away and then comes straight towards camera, and that is the end of Back to the Future.
By the way, can we just say, I know I'm the one person in here who actually still has a soft spot for Back to the Future 2, but it is ridiculous that when they had to, again, it's like we got to come up with a problem for the kids. What are we going to do? Well, their son is going to get in a fight in Hill Valley, and it's going to make the news in like USA Today front page.
Yeah.
And he's going to go to jail forever. And you're just
That's a big deal.
But that's for another Cine-Files.
Yeah, they kind of dropped the ball there.
Goes into post-production. The rough cut was so good they did a screening, an early screening, no special effects, no nothing, in San Jose, I think, and they had multiple standing ovations during the movie. It was so good. Sid Sheinberg said the movie was originally slated for an October release. He said, no, we have to release this by the 4th of July. So stepping up a movie from an October to release 4th of July, they had editors, sound effects, special effects running 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. They put the movie went out into theaters 9 weeks after it wrapped.
Wow.
Principal photography.
Wow.
Wow.
Isn't that insane?
That is insane.
Here's a crazy. So Alan Silvestri, he had done the score for Romancing the Stone, and Spielberg never liked that score because it was too small and too simple. And he told Zemeckis, "You need a big score." So the only note Zemeckis gave to Silvestri was big. They were so rushed that what they said, and I can't believe that this is true, but this is what Silvestri said. Zemeckis had not heard a note of the score when they showed up on the scoring stage to score the movie. Wow. with 98-piece orchestra. That's how big the score was, because they said big. I don't see how that's possible. And as you say, it is one of the great scores of all time. The movie is obviously a huge hit. Number one for 11 weeks. It's the biggest film of 1985. It made $380 million in the box office. It had some nominations. Nominated for Screenplay, Power of Love for Best Song. Oh, by the way, Back in Time plays in the credits. That's our other Huey Lewis song. It won for Sound Effects Editing. That's the only thing it won for. And there are 2 sequels, as we've discussed.
Yeah.
There are video games. There was a big ride at Universal.
Animated series.
Starring Jules and Verne.
And I think we might be at the point of discussing our final thoughts on Back to the Future. I will go first. Here are my final thoughts. I love this movie so much, and I might put it into this category, which is a strange one of, this might be a perfect movie, you know. And I'm not all great movies are perfect movies. And by perfect movie, I mean that the machine of this movie doesn't waste a moment. Like every single moment is there for a reason. It is every shot. There's no wasted shot. There's no, lines where you go, oh, that one was a little off. There's really no misses in this movie at all. I think it works absolutely perfectly. It is so much fun. Its sense of humor is so well established. The characters are so well developed, and it's such a satisfying film for me to watch. I just love it. I don't think it's like a deep movie, but I think it is such an enjoyable movie. And this is like the core of 80s filmmaking to me, is like tight, fun, well constructed, and the final sequence of, the way it's put together of him hitting the wire when the lightning strikes is just great. Who would like to go next?
I'll go next. I think this is one of those 80s movies that it's like a fine wine. It just keeps getting better and better and better. I mean, I think the 80s probably produced some of the best films that aged well. And just from the writing, from the directing, from the performances, everyone was on the same page from beginning to end. I mean, you look at all of those performances, vastly different, but everone was just dialed in.
Except Eric Stoltz.
Well, yeah, he
was dialed out.
He went back in time.
Yeah.
I think Shannon makes a great point. I think that's my thought about it. It's a film that never fails to put a smile on my face whenever I watch it. And what else could you want from a movie? The jokes still work. The overall theme of relationships in terms of your family still works. This idea of wanting, of course, as Mike and Steve have referenced, this idea of if you just try, you never know what can happen, but at least try. It doesn't mean you succeed, but at least you tried, and that's what matters at the end of the day. And throughout this whole movie, I know we said, oh, Marty doesn't really have the arc, but Marty does, because Marty at the beginning is scared to try. Yep. By the end, he is now motivated to try because he's inspired by his father trying, by everyone else in the film and the family. When he comes back being successful, it'll inspire him all over again. And so to me, that is great as well. But overall, it's just, Steve may be right. It is a perfect film in that way. The score works. The action is fun. The characters are well thought out and drawn out, and you never feel like something is shoehorned in just to be shoehorned in to make it work later in the film. You can tell there was a lot of thought that was put behind this movie, and that shows. And every once in a while, they get it right, and you cherish it for that, and it becomes timeless. And this will be eventually considered not just a modern classic, but a classic as we go forward in film, maybe 20 to 30 years from now.
Michael.
I think of all the hard-hitting, serious dramas that I love, Back to the Future is my favorite. No, I think that
hashtag Eric Stoltz.
Hashtag Eric in defense of Eric Stoltz. I think that there's movies that I love because they are inherently a part of my childhood, and there are movies that I love because I think that they are just masterworks of cinema. Right. And I think this is one of the few that gets to be both, which kind of just makes it all the better. We all have those movies that we love. You're like, I'll always love this movie, but yeah, it aged however, I didn't love it. And this has both sides of it, which just will always make it one of my favorite things.
That's great. Yeah. Agreed. Well, so you have clearly heard what we think of Back to the Future. Of course, we always want to hear what you think. Please visit us on our Facebook page at the Cine-Files. You can subscribe to us on iTunes or YouTube and a whole bunch of other places. Reviews on iTunes are a big help to us. They help people find the show, and we want more people to find the show because we're very proud of it. Comments on YouTube are so much fun, and we love interacting with you there. If you want to buy Back to the Future or any movie we've ever reviewed, you can do so on our website, cinefiles.net. And to support the show and possibly get us to do the Ewok movie, I think there were some other suggestions.
Caravan of Courage!
You could go to patreon.com/the Cine-Files and support us there. You also can listen to our Cine-Files shorts by pledging $3 or more a month. We just recorded with these 4 people. It is a fantastic conversation about the DC universe and Batman v Superman and a whole bunch of other topics. It was very funny. I definitely think you should subscribe. And if you want to reach me, you could reach me at SR Morris on Twitter, SR Morris1 on Instagram. John, where could they reach you?
You can always reach me at The Rocha Says on Twitter and on Instagram. And if this is coming out in time, if you are coming to Star Wars Celebration, come see Matt Nost and I do the Top 10 live in Chicago. 2 shows. Go to www.reggieslive.com. Go to April 11th and see the tickets you can buy there for a 6:30 and 9:30 show. Or 9
Michael, do you have anything you want to plug right now? Before
I just want to say you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at MKToon. And Eric Stoltz, if you're out there, love to hear your thoughts on your version of Back to the Future.
No doubt.
Mr. McClung.
Yeah, you can follow me on Twitter at Shannon_McClung. And if you would like to go to my Facebook fan page, Shannon McClung fan page, and give it a like, my representation would be very happy.
It's one of the finest fan pages you can visit. I highly recommend going. And I think that is it for this week. We will see you next time on the Cine-Files.